Hello and welcome to another episode of Snooze Button, the talk show thing that we do on Tuesday mornings, where we play a game only after talking for a little while first. My name is Keith J. Carberry, and with me, as always, is Kylie Theodora. Hi, Kylie.
Hey, Keith. It's great to be here. It's great to be here on the Building Immunity cast, the building. What are we building? What the fuck are we building, Keith?
I'm not building anything.
Oh, okay.
No, we're not building anything. We're talking.
I didn't sleep last night.
Yeah, so you forgot what Snooze Button was and thought it was a building show?
No, I thought I was still. Remember, we were building immunity that one time, and I got confused. I thought we were still doing that. Or I guess you technically are, but you seem to be okay with it. Because you got your second shot.
Oh, that kind of
right?
immunity. I was thinking of the different kinds of immunity.
Oh,
that you can be building. And so I was thinking like Survivor,
like constructing a monument to immunity.
Yeah, well, that is at the beginning of what I thought you meant, and then I thought you meant building immunity, like when you win immunity on Survivor. I thought
yes, we all do want to win immunity from the tribal outvoting or whatever it was. Tribal council. Yeah. Oh my gosh. That show, I mean, I know it's still going on, and
sure is.
Every once in a while I'll catch an episode and be like, "Yep, it's still that show and it's still watchable."
I happened to see a clip of it.
It was so fucking hype when it first came out. Like the first 2 years of Survivor, like it was all anyone talked about the day after Survivor, even in 4th grade.
Some would say the first 3 or 4 years. Season 3 is the best season. So
which one was that?
Season 3 was the pirate-themed one where that guy Rupert stole the other team's stuff. Yes. It's the all-time greatest reality TV moment.
When you said it was the best season, I was about to be like, it's the one with Rupert, right?
Right. Yeah.
He lost that one, but he came back for an all-star season and he won that one.
He won. Oh, good for him. Good for Rupert. Yeah. So if anyone doesn't remember Survivor from 20 years ago,
I think they do actually.
I think you probably do.
I don't think we have to explain this to anybody.
He stole their stuff. It ruled.
He stole their stuff.
It wasn't.
Well, that's the funniest part is he did that on like the first episode, and he seemed like kind of a madman. But then he went on to only be a teddy bear for like the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
The pretext for stealing all of the other team's supplies was that they just kind of left them there while like going out and doing some sort of like look for more supplies challenge or something.
Yeah.
On the first episode, he was like, "We're supposed to be pirates, so I took their stuff."
Right. Yeah, it was like I think it was. They started in the same place and they were supposed to diverge and go to their camps, but the other team left their stuff behind. So they're like, well, fuck it. Let's grab their stuff.
Yeah.
It was good. Atchinson asking, which season did the guy burn his hands of? And I think he's probably thinking of season 2. There was somebody who, I mean, he didn't burn his hands off, but he was like, I guess standing over a fire and like passed out from the smoke for momentarily and like landed on his hands in the fire and got like burns on his hands.
Oh,
like there was like skin peeling off his hands and he had to leave the show after that.
I sort of remember that.
No, thinking of something else.
Hey,
I mean, yeah, it was one of the most hype moments in season 2. A hype season of a hype show.
Can you check to see if we're live on YouTube?
We are.
Okay. I'm not getting a chat in YouTube or the video. So as long as you can see it, then I guess that's fine.
I got it right here.
I can see it on Twitch, but
I mean, by video you mean the still image. I see a still image.
Yeah, the still image. Yeah, because to me it just says connect streaming software to go live. Viewers will be able to find your stream once you go live.
I think you know what it is. It's the annoying thing about the YouTube thing is you're in like the wrong stream. You have to go back to the YouTube main page, then click go live again, and it'll bring you back to the menu.
God, YouTube for real does live generated closed captions now? That's wild.
Alan in the chat, confirming that we are live.
Thanks, Alan. Yeah, I can see it now. Dog Egg says, "Man, you guys always go live when I have to go to work." Yeah, that's just the time that we do it.
Yeah, that is the time that we do it at. I'm sorry that you have to go to work.
To be fair, we started this show when no one was going to work, really, or like a lot fewer people were
totally
going to
true.
work. That was like sort of part of the pretext of it was like it's fine to do it on Tuesday morning because no one goes to work on Tuesday morning right now.
And yeah, I'm sorry that we do the show when you go to work, but it is funny when they say, "Man," like they're just like, the same, again, you're doing this when I'm going to work again this week." Like it's the same time every week, Dog X.
Okay, well,
fair, it's pretty close to the same time every week.
Pretty close. To be fair, though, no one has a set schedule anymore, and Dog X could also be talking about other days working at different times when you're like streaming Dark Souls or whatever.
Yeah. Shit.
Fuck.
I had a thing to say and it left.
Okay. Do you need a sec? Do you need serious time?
Yeah. Give me a second of serious
quiet
time.
For Kylie. She's gonna think for a second.
Shush, please. Thank you. No, I don't got it.
That was nice, though.
Yeah, I liked that.
It was just a nice, like, little moment. It's nice to just take a moment.
It's just take a pause.
Think of how many moments. Think about how many moments life takes from you. You should take a moment from life.
Take a moment back. Yeah.
Take a moment back.
Or take many moments in a row in sequence and use them to play Dark Souls.
That's what you've been doing.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. And that's what we're going to be streaming today on Snooze Button.
No, it's not. We're not doing that. We're doing something different. We did that last week, kind of, in a way.
Yes. That. By the way, everyone, if you didn't watch last week's Snooze Button, you got to go check it out because it's a special one, but it's good. It is good. It's a slow start. You got to get 3 minutes in before you have to get to the run button intro music before you decide you're not interested in the video.
Right. You have to get to the part that I'm in it, which is a couple minutes in.
Yeah. It was confusing because it was maybe seems like you're not there because in the title I said featuring Jordan because he's the only unusual guest, like you're always there.
Yes.
But it does open on me doing a solo stream and then Jordan joins, so I could see how if you only watch the first minute, you'd be like, "Oh, this doesn't have Keith, and therefore I will not watch."
Well, okay. I mean, that's fine if you think that, but it's also, this is just I've already watched 10 hours of this Dark Souls thing. This one has Jordan on it. I'll just watch the full version of it.
Yes. Yeah, we had last week. I guess I won't give any more away. I think you should go just watch it if you haven't seen it. I think it's a fun little thing.
Yeah.
But then also it is technically an excerpt of a larger 7.5 hour stream I did where I'm by myself for the first half, then Jordan shows up for 2 hours, and then Keith shows up for 2 more hours.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's how that goes.
Hey, guess what time it is?
What time is it?
It's E3 p.m.
No, it's not.
Yeah, E3 is this week.
I keep hearing people say that, but I don't know.
It's real.
I thought it was so funny. Like I know like we've had such a long go of it in COVID times at this point that we're all like weird stuff feels normal now because everything's been weird for so long, but it was extremely weird to see like a headline on a game news site that was like, "Don't expect much from this year's E3." Even in years past when we probably knew there wasn't going to be that much exciting at E3, like game news outlets still wanted to get you hyped about it so that you would come read their site. But even this year, they're just like, honestly, there's not going to be much, fam. Like, not gonna lie.
Well, I had kind of seen that like, oh, more people were announcing they had E3 plans than was expected. And then what I heard was, oh, people are still announcing E3 stuff, even though E3 is like tomorrow. Uh, and that's
Well,
weird. And then the
it's
next thing
also
that I heard was that the
slapdash
app
now.
that they built, the app that
Mhm.
is E3 this year,
Yes,
is like
E3 is an
a
app
nightmare
now.
app. Obviously,
Yeah. I heard some of the they want to have some kind of fully featured E3 app where you can watch all the stuff and get all the game news and even social media connect with other E3 appers and earn achievements or something. And it sounded very ambitious. Nothing I'm interested in, of
yeah,
course.
yeah. It
Very
sounded
lame.
like a whole
But
lot of work and thought being put into a very bad idea.
well, no, I mean, honestly, like, bad idea to me, but I hate plenty of shit that gamers eat up with a big
No,
giant spoon.
I think
What do you
you're
what?
I think you're wrong. I don't think anyone wants to get achievements in the E3 app for reading all the articles of like one publisher has on their like E3 app
Well,
page.
not anymore, because E3 blows. But if that had come out 10 years ago, people would have been hyped as
I
shit.
think that okay, I think that you're right, but we're not talking about E3 from 10 years ago. We're
But
talking about E3 in
yeah.
2021.
But
Um
we know what we do.
Like, you know what's happened in the 10 years from when people might have been excited for that and now? When I got hired at GameStop, I did like my training on the like computer in the back room, the computer training app had achievements. So I don't think anybody is hype about achievements in 2021 because they put achievements into everything, including when you're training for a new job.
Yeah.
So
Long Shorts with the same joke I think I heard on another podcast. Long Short says, achievements. Finally, the gamer can win E3. Yes, always the gamers win E3, but now they will truly crush their enemies this E3.
I
Um,
I'm sure that there are people who are excited to have points, E3 points.
yeah.
But
Listen, I'll say this. Whatever E3 is this year, it doesn't sound as bad as whatever fucking shit show they were gonna steamroll into last year. Do you remember what was going on with that?
literally no.
Oh, it was like, it was a lot of, like, well, first of all, they doxed like everybody that's ever been to an E3 by putting all their info on an unencrypted
Oh,
server
good news.
or whatever.
They did that again this year.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I think there was like leaked emails or whatever about just seeing like the plans behind the scenes for like E3, and they're just like extremely talking about all their marketing engagements that they want to put in to engage the show goers. It's just like a very like hollow, craven kind of like
2020 is a
extremely
little bit late
marketing
for the
driven way.
Engage?
No, I think it can still make it. Why? What is? Oh,
You said
Engage. Got
Engage.
it. Yep. All right. I think I saw Jordan on Twitter being like, who the fuck did so much coke that they put achievements in the E3 app or whatever? And I think it's just like they are desperately trying to establish E3 as a kind of PAX before E3. Like it's totally obvious that E3 is about to become obsolete. I mean, it already is. And so their only
Right.
their
2
only
years
their only
ago,
possible path to continued existence is to become a fan centric show, and that's what they're trying to do.
2 years ago, we spent months calling the 2019 E3 the last E3.
That's funny.
And then last year, there kind of wasn't an E3 because of COVID. Kind of.
Right. There wasn't.
There wasn't.
What do you mean?
Oh, people still did like week of E3 things.
Oh, sure, but that was unofficial. They
Yeah,
were just doing their own thing.
So it felt really real. It felt like, man, maybe it really was the last E3 in 2019. And so
right. I really felt like I went from thinking E3 will probably not come back in 2021 to then thinking, actually, like, honestly, coronavirus was the best possible thing that could have happened to E3 last year because it was going to be a shit show. Like they had, remember they contracted Jeff Keighley to like kind of run the whole thing or like run a big section of it, and then he ended up getting fed up and like publicly quitting.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So yeah, there was, I mean, and like honestly, if you can't get fucking Jeff Keighley on board for an E3, you done fucked up big. I'm going back to my to the program that I know has integrity, the Spike TV Awards. Or the Spike TV Game Awards. Tim fucking Schafer. Sorry.
What is this? What are you doing?
It's one time on the Spike Game Awards, Jack Black came out on stage and got everyone to chant Tim fucking Schafer to introduce Tim Schafer.
See, that's the problem with Jeff Keighley is that you need a Jack Black type can get people to say something that if Jeff Keighley tried to do it, everyone would just die. Like, people would literally pass away instead of chanting Jeff fucking or Tim fucking Schafer.
I think
along
honestly,
with Jeff
like,
Keighley, but with Jack Black, it's like, all right, Jack Black, let's go.
In that moment where Jeff Keighley tries that, I imagine like pin drop silence in the room, and he keeps trying to make it work for like a few more seconds until slowly he starts to like crack. Like the calm, cool Keighley facade starts to reveal the madness underneath, and he basically just starts to like decompose into a demon on stage.
I don't fucking know who Jeff Keighley is.
Who the fuck is
like
Jeff
Keighley? All of a sudden, there was just this guy named Jeff Keighley that was all over the place. And
he worked at game trailers, I think, for a long time.
Okay,
but yeah, I definitely know like. When we were still like teenagers or maybe just in our early 20s, like the Gen Xers who were running all the game sites were like, they all knew who Jeff Keighley was and talked about him like everyone knows him. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right. He just he went from being someone that I never heard mentioned to someone who I heard mentioned as if he had always just been around.
Yeah.
And now he was doing the Spike, like, oh, Jeff Keighley's hosting the Spike thing. Jeff Keighley is producing the thing, and it's like, I don't know who the fuck Jeff Keighley is, but I guess he doesn't need any explanation.
Yeah, I don't know if you I don't know, I some recent episode of the Bombcast, maybe it was that one where Brad, Vinny, and Alex all left, but it was a funny line from Jeff Gerstmann. I think someone mentioned like, "Oh, Jeff, you're not going to E3 this year. This is your first E3 you're missing. It's breaking your streak." And he's like, "No, they broke the streak last year. If I won, I outlasted them." Like, I love like in the chicken race to the game of chicken of who will blink first, Jeff Gerstmann or E3. It was E3, and don't you forget it.
Yeah, E3 stopped bringing Jeff to it before Jeff stopped going.
That's
really funny. It is so weird how people change. Everyone knows this. And one of the ways I have
it's
changed,
what separates us from the Rocks.
It's what separates. Yeah, well, Rocks change. They just change over a much longer period of time.
Oh.
Sorry to.
No, that was great. That was perfect because I was referencing an episode of Doug, and you accidentally just referenced the way everyone responded to that line in that episode.
Oh, is that true?
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like, it's what separates us from the Rocks. He goes like, what about erosion? And then later they say it again, like Doug goes to Skeeter like, yeah, I gotta change. It's what separates us from the Rocks. And then Skeeter goes, what about erosion and lava?
Is Doug good, or is it just when I was a kid?
I think Doug was good. What I'm referencing was the first episode of the new Disney produced Doug, which I can't vouch
Disney
for.
Produced Doug. You mean like it was still from 20 fucking years ago?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. It just went from was a Nickelodeon.
Yeah, it went from Nickelodeon to Disney, and instead of trying to pretend like the show didn't change, they did a thing where they were like leaning into change for the sake of change and doing an episode about how change is good.
Yeah. So people change, and I changed from a person who thought E3 was cool and interesting into a person that doesn't think that.
Right.
And separately, alongside that, E3 has changed from something that was a well-produced show into a total drag that everyone hates.
Yeah. Well, I feel like the poorly produced part has only come up in the last few years. It's really just the waning relevance, like
Sure.
It's the truth of it is just it's E3 all the time in the game space. Like E3 used to really be like the time of year when all the game news happened. It just doesn't happen anymore like that.
Yeah.
Because E3 used to be like this is the event that has the biggest amount of eyeballs on it. So if you want people to know about your games, you gotta bring them to E3. But now anyone, Konami can just release a YouTube video about their upcoming Silent Hill pachinko machines.
Right. Which is gonna do gangbusters, I think.
I think it already has. Mostly in pachinko parlors, but
I've been replaying Judgment because they released the Xbox Series X Judgment thing. Because it was only PS4. It was PS4 only, and they brought it to the Xbox. And I'm pretty sure anyway that it's like upgraded for Series X or whatever. It looks great anyway. I think it looks better than I remember it looking. But every time I play one of those Yakuza games, I just get bummed out at that there's pachinko parlors all over the place, and you can't ever, for all of the side activities you can do in the Yakuza games,
there's no fucking pachinko.
There's never pachinko. They have the parlors. Like, you can see the places where pachinko would be, but you can't go in there. You're not allowed.
In Zero, you can purchase multiple pachinko parlors, and you cannot enter.
Yep.
I'm taking Long Short's joke in the chat and adapting it. In my restless dreams, I hear those metal balls clacking.
It's good. You haven't played Judgment, right?
No.
You should play it.
I know. The story sounds good.
It's so good. It's really, really good.
I'm not excited about playing a game where with all the Yakuza beat 'em up, where the beat 'em up is even more out of place than it is in Yakuza.
I don't find that at all.
Okay.
I don't find the beat 'em up out of place at all. If anything, I find the beat 'em up more in place because by Yakuza 2, 3, by Yakuza 2, Kiryu is the ex fifth chairman of the Tojo clan. And he still spends that entire game beating the shit out of Tojo grunts who don't recognize him.
Right.
And it doesn't make any sense. It's never made sense.
No, that doesn't sound like it
Even
makes sense.
before then, he was known as the Dragon of Dojima.
Yeah.
Like, he's a famous ass kicker.
Yeah, he famously went to jail. Also.
Yeah.
Like, he was like amongst the Yakuza when he went to jail for 10 years, like he was known for that. They were like, that guy. So, they even tried to kill him in jail.
Yeah. So after Yakuza 1, it stops making sense at all that you're constantly beating the shit out of like street punks and Tojo guys. And in Judgment, you play the sort of adopted son of a Yakuza boss who never joined up, a low-level Yakuza boss who never joined up, and is like at odds directly with the clan you are most associated with, and you're just some fucking detective. And so that everyone is harassing you on the street makes a lot more sense when you're kind of just some fucking guy.
Yeah, I
And
guess that
not
makes sense.
like literally the ex-chairman of the Tojo clan.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's how I feel about it. I also it is sort of a later era Yakuza game, which means that running away from those street fights it just gets easier and easier as that series goes on, and it's pretty easy to just run away from those fights in Judgment. And I think it's also got an interesting take on the Yakuza side stories thing that they do, where most of the side stories are wrapped up in friendships with like workers and proprietors of like local businesses and people around town. So like go into a store and sort of make friends with the sad cashier or something. Or like there's this girl who works at a hotel whose English is bad, and so you like give her tips on English whenever you come by to buy food to heal yourself. And that gives you city reputation as a detective. It gives you two things. One, it gives you city reputation as a detective, which lets you take on more cases as a detective. And those are the sort of like bigger and usually more interesting side stories, is like the case file things. And it also gives you like the special meter moves, like the big smash 'em up moves you can do in Yakuza. It gives you access to special ones where like those friends that you have made will like throw you a weapon, or they will like tag team someone with you. Or they're just walking around town and will join in fights. If they see you in a fight, they'll come join on your side. And eventually you do enough of these things and the city is just like full of your friends walking around. And it's really fun. It's nice. But this is a game that I felt like it was on my Game of the Year list when it came out because I played it on PS4, but I never felt like it got the sort of attention that it deserved because it was just so obviously excellent. And so I'm glad that it came out new on Xbox for the first time, because it really deserved more people to play it. So I'm glad some people are playing it finally. Not that it went like totally unnoticed. It still was like a pretty well publicized like Yakuza spinoff, but
well, yeah, even Yakuza has gained in popularity since then. So
true. It was sort of like released at around the tipping point of like all of a sudden Yakuza is a big deal. Because it's been it was like 2016 or maybe 2017.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, Keith. I'm getting breaking news in the chat from Spencer Gray, who says I'm behind, but Rupert did not ever win Survivor.
Damn.
Oh no! I checked the Survivor wiki, and they're right. But what I guess I must have been thinking of was that he won a public vote on his like All-Star season that he came back. They did like a thing where it was like everyone can vote on their favorite contestant and they'll get $1 million.
Can I guess? Was it Boston Rob actually that won the All-Star season?
Boston Rob?
Yeah.
Oh God, you might be right.
I'm pretty sure that it was Boston Rob actually that won the All-Star season.
Oh no.
Oh,
Amber defeated Boston Rob.
Yeah.
But then they dated.
They were dating and they won it quote unquote together.
Right. Okay. But officially he lost. So says the Survivor wiki.
Officially he lost, it says?
It says Amber, I don't know, Burkich defeated Rob Mariano in a close 4-3 vote to become the 8th sole survivor.
Yeah. But who cares? Because I think they got married. I don't know.
And I think you're probably right. Let's see.
He's the perfect Boston guy. I don't know how much anybody out there remembers Boston Rob, but he was just this sort of unlikable slime ball who was so likable.
Right. Exactly. He was like a dirtbag that everybody loved for no reason, and was always wearing a Red Sox cap.
He was always wearing a Red Sox cap.
Of course he was.
Yeah. Yeah. He was like, he was not. like big mixed feelings guy is like very
Yeah.
Boston to me.
And it looks like Rupert only missed 2 days on that season. He made it to the third to last day.
Yeah, he came in third. Yeah, I remember this now. Was the this is old memories, but I think that the big like final thing with the three of them was they were like standing on these wooden poles like in the water, and they just had to like stand on the poles, and I think they just had to stand on those poles until one person was left.
That's definitely been in, I mean, probably multiple seasons of Survivor. And I it's funny how that $1 million vote thing was totally only created because people just wanted to see Rupert win something.
Yeah.
You know, it's like also because he apparently got beaten by a team up.
Yeah, he did get beaten by it. Well, that was the Boston Rob thing was
Right.
he was a pioneer in the make 'em and break 'em alliances game.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Do you remember did you remember Johnny Rotten?
The guy with the fake grandma? Yeah.
The guy with the fake, well, no, he had a real grandma.
He had a real grandma. She died.
Fake died.
Just that's another all-time great reality TV moment.
Absolutely.
That had to have been. Was that fake? That had to. Was that real?
I mean, they swear up and down that he really did that for real. That like that what it is before the season starts, everyone picks like a family member or a friend who's going to be their person who comes in for a challenge to help them in a special challenge in the middle of the season. Johnny Rotten picks his best friend, but beforehand they make the plan. When he tells his friend, like, when you come on, I'm going to act like it's supposed to be my grandma and you say that she died. And then I'm going to act really sad and we're going to win the challenge. And the host of that show swore up and down that he really didn't know that, like, you see him react really sadly in the scene, and it's that he really thinks that Johnny's grandma died.
Wow. Wild shit.
Yeah. I think they called him Johnny Fairplay.
Johnny Fairplay.
Johnny Rotten.
I just knew who you were talking about.
I think they sometimes called him Johnny Rotten, though obviously that's a different person.
Yeah.
But you know, of course, they called him Johnny Fairplay because that was not what he did.
You're right, because yes, it was oxymoron.
Yeah.
What a great nickname for a known cheater.
Yeah. So good.
It's really good. God, what happened to reality TV? It was so good. It could have been great.
I mean, yeah.
What killed reality TV?
Viewers. They decided they all just wanted to watch the garbagest show.
Okay,
reality TV producers kept being, "What about this shit?" And people went, "Yeah, we love it."
Okay, but hold on. I don't believe that people can decide what gets sold to them by just watch. Like,
well, no, but they decide what to watch on TV.
But they kind of, but that's not really what determines what gets made. I mean, those shows are just so much cheaper.
Yeah, sorry, that's the other thing. They're very cheap to make comparatively.
Right. Yeah. So I think you just get like, well, a ton. No one likes this, but still, kind of a lot of people are watching it, and it costs nothing to make.
Well, but I think you're really assuming too much when you think that people aren't enjoying these bad reality TV shows. Like, there are so many people out there, you ask them, like, what kind of TV shows do you like? They just say, garbage reality shows. I just eat it up. Yeah. These days, I mean, reality TV has probably waned a bit, but like for a long time, there was a huge group of people that were just like, I like the trashiest reality TV. I just want to see angry people be mad at each other and maybe try to punch.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is that so you you have a menu, right? You have here are the TV shows that are on when you can watch TV. and 80% of them are shitty reality TV shows. And then it's like not really a big surprise when people are like, yeah, I watched this and now I guess I just like it. When it's like, well, of course you started watching it. It's 80% of what's on the TV. It's either...
But it wasn't like that until those were all the highest rated shows on TV and stuff.
Yeah.
I think you're forgetting the buildup. There was years and years of like reality TV shows ascension before it was the thing everyone was watching all the time. There was The Osbournes, there was Big Brother, there was Real World, there was Road Rules.
I think Big Brother is the problem.
The problem.
Yeah, because Big Brother, it's
Flavor
almost
of
like
Love, baby.
Survivor. But
You're forgetting about Flavor of Love.
I'm never forgetting about Flavor of Love. But
Okay.
I guess this is the sort of thing where it's like those things were all on. Those were like daytime. That was like daytime television.
Right. And we're not daytime television people.
Right. But
there are people out there that are that. And the reason that daytime TV is what it is because the people watching at that time like it. And there's no one else who's watching to ruin it for them.
This is a chicken or the egg question. I basically think it's impossible for viewer like this.
I think it's impossible for it to not be both a little chicken and a little egg. I don't think it can be one or the other.
Sure, I just think it's massively egg. An egg is...
And since we agree that egg is my thing, I'm glad
egg is my
we're
thing.
on the same page.
I thought it was clear that my thing was egg.
Oh, okay, sorry. Hey, do we wanna switch gears? Are we done with talking about reality TV show?
Pretty much.
You okay with that?
What, do you have any other game stuff to talk about before we move on?
Well, Keith, there is this just yesterday a new website got announced called Nextlander.
Oh, you want to talk about this? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Okay.
I mean, I actually feel better now about my decision to not really talk all that much about Brad, Vinny, and Alex leaving Giant Bomb. Because it would have just been a bunch of wasted breath about how I'll be sad to not see them doing game stuff anymore or doing a podcast, and they're just doing that now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so they left Giant Bomb a few weeks ago, all at the same time, and they just announced yesterday they're basically just reforming to do Giant Bomb, but independently, and without Jeff, who stayed at Giant Bomb.
Right, and extremely successfully, I might add.
Oh, their Patreon, you mean?
Oh yeah, it is at 9,500 patrons in it's been like 24 hours.
Yeah. Though, I think we talked about this a little on the phone yesterday, and you were like, I can't tell, is this a game thing or what else is this?
It is a game thing.
Well, it is a game thing. 'Cause I listened to the first episode of their podcast. I don't know if you listened.
Me too. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because it's like. I think it seemed more like, we're gonna do games because we love games and you love games, but also like I'm gonna talk about ham radio stuff and I'm gonna talk about weird tech stuff or like whatever. Like they want to like expand into their own areas of personal interest and stuff.
Yeah.
Also, and when Brad was like, "Oh, can I plug my other show?" and they were like, "Yeah, you're a co-founder. You can do whatever you want." And I didn't know he did a tech podcast.
Oh, you didn't know about
Will.
Brad and Will have a tech show?
Have a tech pod. No.
Yeah.
I just learned about that yesterday. So then I listened to a few episodes of that. That's good.
Yeah.
Now I have a whole new podcast to catch up on. And my pod life has been going through a woeful lack of Will Smith, not the actor Will Smith, the past few years. Mm-hmm. And so I like that guy. And
you didn't even know. It's right there. It was right there for you
I didn't even know it was right there for the past 2 years. Yeah.
I saw them each tweeting about it every once in a while. That's how I knew about it. I just caught it on Twitter. So like I wouldn't have known about it if I hadn't seen like Will Smith tweeting it out every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Keith, I have a question.
Sure.
Long Shorts in the chat says that's $1,000,000. What is that from? I can't remember.
That's $1,000,000.
That's $1,000,000.
Is that from something? I don't know.
Like, it's definitely a thing we've read or said on Run Button before, but I don't remember why or when or what the context was.
Long Shorts, what do you mean? What do you
What's-
mean when you say that's
where
$1,000,000?
where does that $1,000,000 comes from?
Or does
Oh
it
wait,
just...
is it this giant bomb thing?
I don't
Wait.
know. I genuinely don't know. We're just gonna wait patiently for Long Shorts to... Long Shorts, it's for sure from something. No idea though. Great. That's $1,000,000.
I think it's just a meme. Like someone said something dumb and ended it with "that's $1,000,000" one time. Yeah, I'm seeing like lots of people are saying this in giant bomb posts and stuff. So it's some kind of giant bomb meme.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's so funny. I literally can't. I have trouble remembering these days which is a giant bomb thing and which is one of our things.
These days, you have had this problem for a decade.
Okay.
Is that fair?
No.
No? Okay.
No, it's not fair.
Okay, but is it true?
No. It's not. I mean, I don't think it is.
I think it is. I definitely think it's come up before.
All right, but whatever. Anyways, I don't like the first thing I said to you when you said that their thing was called Nextlander, I was like, "Oof, I hate that name."
Yeah.
But I did like that at the beginning of the podcast, they weren't like,
they lampshaded the name.
They weren't like, "Ooh, we're so proud of this name." They were like, "Listen, you'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Once you say it enough times, it won't mean anything anymore."
It was
just
almost
like
the first
it's
thing
like
they
Nintendo
said.
Wii. It was literally the first thing they said. Yeah. So, hey, credit where it's due.
Yeah.
They're right. It's like it's hard to think of a video game name for stuff, and we've done it, and it's tough.
It is tough. It's tough. Run Button is a pretty good one.
It's a pretty good one.
It's a pretty good one, but we came up with it a decade ago, and there's been a lot of people naming things.
Yeah, and it was really hard to come up with a video game thing that wasn't taken back then.
Right. Game Kiwi.
Game Slag and the Infinite Hypothesis.
Game Bench.
Sit on it. Oh, it's so fucking good.
Yeah,
we'll never think of anything better than that.
To be fair, though, that was never in contention for a run. That wasn't something. That was a joke.
No.
From like 2 years in, or
that was always a joke. But what a joke it is. This one wasn't a joke. The problem is, even when we set out to pick a good name, we like dumb names so much that like we almost named this thing like Press Any Start.
Right.
Because it was like, remember how some games
Hit Select
say
was one? That was
Hit Select was one. It turns out Hit Select, first of all, that's not a thing you ever... The Select button is the least used button in video games, so that's stupid to name your thing that. But also, Hit Select is a fighting game term that has nothing to do with the Select button. Complex Rockets. Hey, meanwhile, mixtape, you forgot the slash. There's no space between Complex and Rockets. It's a /
Yeah, get it right.
Get it right. Yeah, so I was like, hey,
video game podcast name of all time, right? Please.
Yeah,
that no one's ever heard. Also,
and that's why it's fine. So I was like, hey, remember how some games say press start? Well, that's taken. Some say press any button. That's taken. But what if we just combined them into the worst name and called it Press Any Start?
You always really liked Press Any Start. I never really liked Press Any Start.
You liked it. You did. You thought it was stupid and funny.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I guess Hit Select is not the thing. Maybe it's Option Select is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, naming stuff is hard. And You know, we did it fine, and not everyone does it fine. That's
Yeah.
fine.
You know, I just I was feeling, last night I was having a down moment. I wasn't feeling very good. And then I put on that podcast, and it invigorated me. It's they sound excited. I'm excited for them. It has that early giant bomb energy where it's like, hey, we're going and we're still doing the thing, but we're gonna try doing it ourselves. It's cool.
Um, the like
Wait, I'm so excited, Keith. I think we should do this.
we should
start.
we should
We
go
should start a
independent.
podcast. We should start a podcast. We should go independent. We should get a
Damn.
Patreon. We should do game streams.
Okay, if you wanna, if you
could
wanna
do
support
that.
the newly independent Run Button podcast, you can go to contentburger.biz.
We just made that. That's our brand new website.
That's our brand new website.
Contentburger.biz. Don't worry, you'll get used to it. After you stay contentburger.biz for 8 or 9 years, you'll
Speaking
still
of dumb names
you
that are
still won't
extremely
like
funny
it,
and
but
that's my one that you never liked.
yeah, So Damn Gangsta also saying you're mixing option select and hit confirm. There you go.
Content Burger should have been its own podcast.
Hey, nothing's stopping that.
I don't want to figure out what that would be. It's maybe not the best idea for a podcast to come up with a name for it and then try to figure out what kind of show it's going to be. It seems like sort of working backwards.
You know what occurred to me last night?
No.
Was in the like, so we did Complex Rockets it was only a podcast. We did it for a year and a half, and we did like between 50 and 60 episodes. And in 9.5 years of Run Button, we have not put out that many podcast episodes like in that intervening time.
Wow.
Like,
it's hard to do them. The video game news started being a lot less important, both, I think, extrinsically and intrinsically.
What's the extrinsic?
Like, I just think that there's perpetually less going on.
Yeah.
There is less news to be had.
Yeah, definitely.
And then also I care less about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I care less about it. There's also just less people reporting on it because they all got laid off.
Right. Yeah. That's the other thing, is that we, as lay people, we only have access to what is happening in games through people who are paid to do game news and reading that. And like, the less game news there is, the less access we have to, like, the lay video game news site is sort of, in essence, an aggregator of news, like, because we don't do any independent journalism on game stuff because we just don't have those connections or resources. So as game news itself declines, so does our ability to reliably have anything to talk about that isn't just like the games that we've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we ran into that pretty early in Run Button, I feel like. We'd be preparing to do a podcast, and it's like, all right, let's go, scrape the web for any notable game news stories, and we were just like scraping the barrel every time. Like,
yeah. So I mean, it's like kind of sad. I guess I would prefer if there was an interesting week's worth of video game news for us to talk about every week. But I don't know what it would look like for it to be interesting to me.
Yeah.
but I know that even when it's not interesting to me, there still isn't really enough to talk about.
Yeah.
Um,
I think ultimately, like, I think just as we've gotten older, it's like we've kind of like naturally shed, a certain amount of like naive childish enthusiasm or something. Maybe not naive, but just like, when you're young, when you're like a kid, like a teenager or early 20s, it's just like easier to get excited about products, I guess.
yeah, you become an anarchist and a socialist, and then you're like, it's hard to
Then you're
tie. It's
not
hard to talk about a hobby
Yeah,
that is almost exclusively consumerist.
yeah, it's hard to get it up for crushing the hopes and dreams of millions of game devs every year.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, Especially like recently where like all the biggest stories haven't been about games or like technologies. It's been about like how miserable it is to be a developer of a
oh
game.
yeah,
Like,
and like uh like abuse scandals also.
yeah,
Lots of those going around.
yeah.
Um,
Um,
which is important for it to get out there, but obviously it's
right. And
not a
from
fun
like,
time to talk about.
and then just like extremely, not just widespread labor issues, but labor issues widespread, like and extreme to the point where I think one of the biggest concerns, one of the biggest like in industry concerns right now is that like all of the really talented people are just leaving the industry to get
Yeah,
better paying jobs where they have to work less and
yeah.
are treated better in other parts of like the tech sector.
That is the thing about game development. I mean, really, the thing about every aspect, any job involving video games, you're making less money to do the same work because it's video games and you have a passion for it.
Right.
Anyone working in game dev could take their skills to a different industry and make more money like overnight,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they do.
And they do. That is the like for as expensive as games keep getting, like they just get more and more expensive and like but they're not getting better. Like they definitely are getting more expensive. They're not necessarily getting better or they're not the degree to which games are better is not tied to how expensive they are. Um but that money isn't going to the people that
Yeah.
make the games. It's
Oh,
like, I mean, it is in
yeah,
the sense
and
that pretty much big studios are paying what they technically promised, although that's not true in all cases.
no, it's not true in a lot of cases.
Well,
They're
the
like
thing is
constantly
the
like stiffing people on bonuses.
well, that is the thing is that stiffing someone on a bonus is different than like not paying them their
Sure.
wage. But that is a separate issue.
So
is,
that
like,
does also happen.
that's yeah, exactly. That does also happen. But it's like the fact that developers are forced to rely so heavily on bonuses is its own like huge issue.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when the bigger and bigger games get, the harder and harder it is for those people who are making their bonuses to actually have an effect on how good their game is. It's like,
True. Yeah.
I'm supposed to get a bonus
that's
based on the performance of a cumulative 10,000 person project? Like, are you serious?
Or yeah, and just like even and when like things like Cyberpunk happen where it's basically just the publisher, the publisher railroading the development team straight towards a brick wall. I don't know if you heard any of like the details about Cyberpunk's development. Like when that game came out and was a buggy mess, people were like, wasn't this game in development for like 9 years? Like what the fuck happened? But they actually didn't start development for real until after Witcher 3 came out. And then that's like, oh, okay, it all makes sense now. Of course you couldn't make this game in 4 years.
No, Witcher 3 came out 7 years ago.
7 years?
I'm pretty sure. Witcher 3 came out Witcher 3 came out 6 years ago.
Am I getting this confused with a different, more recent game?
Maybe.
Or
I mean, they haven't made a game since that.
No, then I guess I'm not.
Yeah, Witcher 3 came out 6 years ago. Came out in May 2015.
I finally, I heard a bunch of stuff. Oh, I am pretty hot on that mic. I heard a bunch of stuff obviously about Cyberpunk when it came out, but I didn't spend that much time looking at videos because I was like I already know I don't want to play it. I finally like watched a pretty big supercut of like bug footage and stuff from Cyberpunk, and it's so rough.
Yeah.
It is the buggiest, most like visually unfinished game of like that like budget and caliber I've ever seen. It's like an embarrassment from a company who made their reputation and large and to a certain degree their money on their on the idea that they only put out games when they're good and done.
To be fair, I would say that maybe actually where they made their money was digital game sales, but
Well, that's true. That's true. Oh, wow, it is really going high. It's true that they did that, but they did that with having the friendly site that didn't put DRM in the games
Right.
and wasn't pretending like you couldn't update an old PC game to run on modern OSs
yeah.
and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like it was very much like CD Projekt Red was sort of like the poster child for goodwill in the gaming community, and they torched it like I've
Right.
never seen anyone torch anything.
To be fair, they seemed like that until they kept having shitty social media posts over and over again, like
Oh, sure.
basically every year for 4 years.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't remember, I think it was always the CD Projekt Red social media account, or sorry, not CD Projekt Red, the Good Old Games social media account, Twitter account, which is owned by CD Projekt Red, like tweeting weirdly transphobic things like once or twice a year for 3 years or something like that. Like really bizarre shit where they just didn't replace this person or tell them don't do this thing. It sucks, and it just like really felt like they didn't care.
Yep.
Yeah, bad. It's a shame because when The Witcher 3 came out, that was like my favorite game that had been released in years.
It was a good one.
It was really good.
Yeah, I sure was excited about Cyberpunk for a good long time.
It's fucked up because it's like I can't think of another studio where the last game they put out was a favorite game of mine, and I already didn't like that studio by the time they put out their next game.
Like, it must have happened. It absolutely must have happened.
Because it's not like BioWare, where like I don't give a shit about BioWare anymore, but it took a lot of missteps for that to happen.
Well, how many?
Mass Effect Andromeda, Dragon Age Inquisition, the launch era of the Old Republic, and then Anthem. So 4 missteps.
Oh
in a row?
Anthem. I forgot about Anthem.
Yeah.
So speaking of Mass Effect Andromeda, that's another game. I think I found a YouTube channel that did like super cuts of buggy games or whatever. So I watched a super cut of Mass Effect Andromeda, and I didn't realize like I knew that there were bugs in that game. I didn't realize that like fundamentally just like the animation and rigging of the character models was terrible.
Oh wow, I
like,
also didn't realize that.
It was basically like the whole project was understaffed and underfunded to the point where like the people working on the animations and stuff like weren't like trained as professional animators or something. Like it's just like, wow, how do you yeah, apparently.
So this is sort of the thing with the like, I guess, who is left that you can point to that feels this way still. I get you reference that CD Projekt Red had said this before. Blizzard is another company that had said things like this for a really long time, but the like it's done when it's done thing.
Yeah.
Like
and we know, and Blizzard also is not doing that anymore. We know that.
Right. It is such a. Although I did hear that they put out some like collection of old games that people really thought was good.
Oh
And
yeah,
well done.
they're like they did put out a Blizzard Classic collection that was good, but they made like big promises about their Warcraft 3
Oh
remaster,
yeah, I heard
like,
it was
we're
miserable.
yeah, they just like totally they decided to totally kneecap the budget
Yeah,
significantly, and that game is just like not at all what they said it would be, and also
yeah.
not good or something.
So, but so it's like my my knee jerk impulse is to be like, how do they not see that the the way to make money, if what you actually want to do is make money, is
Yeah.
to delay games until they're done, pay employees and not overwork them so that they're not miserable and extremely low
Mm.
morale and leaving the industry,
Yeah.
and putting out games when they're actually good and
Done.
fun.
Yeah. It's weird because it seems to be like with CD Projekt, like they massively overpromised to their investors or whatever, and it just seems like it was so unnecessary because that fucking game sold like what, like a millions of copies already. Like on day one, it had made like
Right.
$17 billion or something, and it was like, couldn't you have made $17 billion from a good game?
Yeah.
Like, come
Well,
on.
that's the thing, is that it's it's true that is how a company would make money if what they wanted to do is make money in the long term.
Right.
But nobody wants to make money in the long term. They just want to make
Especially not
money in the
EA.
short term
Yeah.
because you're because I don't know, like,
EA's like, these Star Wars games aren't getting done fast enough.
right. I
Cut,
mean, just
cut,
the
cut, cut,
audacity
cut.
to cancel 3 major Star Wars AAA releases because they weren't done in 2 years. Like, like, can't you see that you would make more money by not canceling it? Because because you already did all the work.
But Keith, we could reassign those workers to a different Star Wars we could put 5 teams on a Star Wars project and it would be done so much faster. Can't you see that?
But they never did it. They never did that.
The more teams you add to a project, it just exponentially increases how quickly the game gets made. We all know this.
And how good it is.
They say too many cooks in the kitchen, make
Get
a
a
meal
bigger
real
kitchen.
quick. That's what they say. They say when you have tons of cooks in your kitchen, they're cooking up a storm. I think that's how the saying goes.
Get a bigger pot because you're about to have a lot of really good soup. And it's just like, because well, that's the thing, is that it's not the product isn't the video game.
Oh, sorry. They Paradox Persona says also they fired the teams that made those canceled Star Wars games.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we just don't want to pay for any of this anymore.
You're how close to done? 80%, not good enough. Fired. You're fired.
Fired.
Star Wars 1313 up there with that original Prey teaser for game I'm most upset that I never got to play because it will never be made.
Yeah.
That I'll never play
That was,
it, mostly because it's a horror game and it's too scary for me. But I also still have some sour grapes over that like original Human Head reboot that never got made, and instead they had Arcane do a different Prey, also called Prey.
Yeah.
I think it was Human Head.
Such a strange
Let's play Prey. What if we let's play the original Prey?
I think that would be rough. I would love to. I'd love to let's play. I'd love to do a let's go until we're sick of it let's play of Prey.
Sure. Aren't all of our let's plays that though?
I know, but I want it to be explicit. Like, listen, we're not finishing this. Don't add us. Because that it has a great intro. Like, it has a great like opening couple hours or something. And my understanding is it kind of all falls apart from there. But don't fear the Reaper intro.
Oh god,
I don't know.
Good.
I don't know that it's. I don't know that it's a lot to see these days,
It
but
is.
in like
No, it
in
really, truly
2006 or
is.
7, it was great.
Seti says that the Arcane Prey was excellent, though. Yeah, I've always heard that. I like Arcane, so I won't say that I definitely think it's not for me, but I'm pretty sure that it's not. I mean, and I'm saying
Well,
this, I'm slowly playing through Dishonored 2 right now, and I say slowly playing through because I keep having to stop because it's too scary. And that's not even supposed
yeah.
to be scary.
Yeah, I don't know if you should play the game about going into dark rooms full of monsters that can imitate inanimate objects.
Yeah. Um
Uh, but remember that this is the path of the Prey series. Prey was in development by 3D Realms, George Broussard, alongside Duke Nukem Forever for many years, and then like got canceled and then re-revived and finished, possibly as like a different game altogether, and released on 360. And then we didn't hear about it for years. Then there was
it was a
a trailer
medium, it was a lukewarm
at best reception. Yeah. And then years and years later, we saw a really cool looking trailer for a game. Really cool looking trailer for a game called Prey 2 that looked nothing at all like Prey 1 or didn't seem to have anything to do with Prey 1, but it looked really cool, so we didn't care. Then that game got canceled. Then later, someone made a new second Prey game just called Prey that also has nothing to do with the original Prey or the canceled Prey 2, just its own Prey.
Right.
I think
what has Human Head been doing?
Name. I don't know anything about Human Head.
Well, Human Head made the original Prey.
The original Prey?
Yeah, 2006, the 2006 Prey. And then they made Brink. Remember Brink?
Oh, Brink. You're talking about the game with smart movement across random terrain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The smart system.
Oh, well, this says... games... Maybe they were not the main developer on this. Because it says it was developed by Splash Damage. Did Human Head maybe change their name to Splash Damage?
I don't think so. I think Human Head is maybe gone.
They made Rune 2 in 2019, an action-adventure video game developed by Human Head Studios.
What is Rune?
Oh, wait. Okay, no. This looks like... Because it was... This game was made in 2000, but it says released 2019. So they must have done some sort of re-release of Rune 2.
Seti has two things to say. First, oh yeah, Prey is the scariest game I've ever played.
Yeah.
And also, oh God, Brink, I'm the one person who thought that game was great. Yeah, I guess we found.
I rented Brink and I thought it was fine.
I didn't play it. It seemed okay.
Yeah, it was totally fine.
But that was like
Prey
it
2, by the way, it was developed by Human Head before it was canceled. So
okay, gotcha.
Real sad.
I think Brink's problem really was just that I believe it was a multiplayer shooter with not enough to differentiate itself in an extremely oversaturated market of really good first-person shooters.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, let's see. Is Human Head still even around? Okay, it has been dead for 18 months. No more Human Head.
Aw, rip.
Yeah. That's sad.
Shout
out to Human Head.
What did they make?
They made that game Rune that I was talking about.
What is that?
It is an action-adventure video game based on a Ragnarok, showing the conflict between the gods Odin and Loki and the build-up to Ragnarok, built on Unreal Engine.
Wow, exciting.
It received generally positive reviews.
We don't have enough Norse mythology games these days.
Oh, it was made in 2000.
Oh, I'm talking about Rune 2.
Yeah, it was made in... Oh, Rune 2... Rune
2 was like 2 years ago, you said.
Yeah, okay. Oh, they were considering a sequel. See, there's nothing on
Okay.
It was released on November 12th, 2019.
They
Immediately after the game's release, Human Head was shuttered, and a new studio, Roundhouse Studio, was formed with the staff of Human Head Studios under management of Bethesda Softworks. Oh, so they're not dead.
Okay.
They're just forgotten.
They've just been captured and enslaved by the Bethesda juggernaut.
They've been putting out games under Bethesda for a while, but like Brink, that was their first Bethesda published game in 2011. But I guess they've been independent because they've also self-published a game. They published something with Tryon Worlds. They published something with Amazon Game Studios. They published something with Square Enix.
Keith, nobody has published anything from Amazon Game Studios. Thank you.
Actually, Human Head published Lost Within in 2015 for iOS and Android.
Wow, you're getting really good at making up game titles on the spot.
Thank you. Speaking of that, Dungeon Defenders 2 they made.
Yep, there you go. Not one?
No, not one.
Oh no. Wait, is this true? Paradox Persona says they made The Quiet Man? Could that be true?
They did make The Quiet Man.
Oh God.
Yeah, they did.
Why haven't we played The Quiet Man? It was overplayed by the time it got to us.
It was a meme game by the time I heard about it.
Yeah.
Roundhouse Studios, it's called now. Roundhouse. God, that fucking. I mean, but just imagine if they had, because I don't know what happened to Prey 2, but what I can imagine what happened to Prey 2, and it was just that whoever was publishing it decided that they didn't want to be spending money on it and canceled it.
Yeah. Yep.
And it looks so good. I mean, Prey 2 might have been the last thing that I cared about.
I will say this, and maybe what's up?
I just feel like you didn't react to what I just said.
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Okay.
Say it again.
I feel like Prey 2 might have been the last thing that I cared about.
And
what I was going to say, it might have been the last time that I was invested in a video game trailer. But I finished the sentence halfway through because I thought it was funny.
Yeah, and the last thing that I cared about was way before whatever you said, and so I just blew right past you. That's funny. Well, I'll say this though, as part of this supercut, this video game supercut rabbit hole I fell down on YouTube a few days ago. It was a lot of I saw videos comparing
of game glitches and stuff.
Well, this I did see some of that, but this one specifically being comparing. I think this one was a video called Ubisoft Downgrades, which I don't appreciate the word downgrades because it's shitty. But this wasn't the fucking Puddlegate thing, they made shittier puddles. It was they kept showing here was the first announcement trailer of this Ubisoft game. Now here's the same moment from the final game, and it's really rough every single time.
Wow.
And it's and the thing that gives me pause about that Prey 2 thing is it was a really interesting looking trailer, but it was mimicking gameplay, but it was just a proof of concept mock-up.
Yep.
And that was probably going to be a really difficult game to make.
Now it would have.
So they
been
might have
perfect.
encountered, they might have encountered a lot of development trouble, and then the publisher gets cold feet and runs or whatever.
I disagree. I think it would have been perfect. It would have been the first perfect game.
I think I probably would. Well,
sorry, after Dark Zero. That's why they call it that.
Wait, Dark Zero?
Yeah, the first. I said Prey 2 is going to be the first perfect game, but I was forgetting about Perfect Dark Zero. They made one perfect game, and it was Dark Zero.
Oh, I was gonna say I thought you were forgetting the 4 perfect games that came before it. Ocarina of Time, Chrono Cross, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. That's all the ones I can remember.
Oh, are you referencing some list of perfect games?
These were the games that GameSpot gave perfect 10s to back when GameSpot considered their 10 ranking to literally only apply to games that were truly perfect. Listen, Ocarina of Time, Tony Hawk 3. It's some good picks. I'm not gonna lie.
It's right.
It is not. Wonky,
it's not like they were. Yeah, that's it. It's silly to call something like that perfect, but at least they did give it to 4 games that it would make it I get it.
They sure did take it real serious. Whether or not that was the correct thing to do, I think it was the right thing for the time. But yeah. Uh, but I think Chrono Cross was actually rather contentious because I think a lot of people didn't care so much for that game.
Well, you're always
Though
gonna find
Paradox
someone.
Persona says finally someone acknowledges that Chrono Cross is superior. Yeah, okay. I haven't played it, so I'm more of a radical dreamers girl.
This is why they were only able to give Halo a 9.7. Just barely not perfect.
What? So I've read that review and I know exactly what kept it back from the perfect 10. It's at 30 frames instead of 60. That's probably
Really?
it.
No.
I think the review said was like, well, they said like the game runs slow because it's at 30 instead of 60, like not realizing that like a 3D game's frame rate isn't tied to its game speed, so it's actually slow by design choice, not by frame rate, but whatever. I suppose if they could get it running at 60 frames, they might have made it into a faster game. I don't know.
Oh, I understand what you mean now. Yeah, no, that's silly. My guess would have been that the second half of the game is really repetitive, or I guess maybe the third quarter of the game is really repetitive.
Yeah. Some of that level design doesn't hit. We've played the library. We played Two Betrayals.
Hey, note to Bungie: some of that level design doesn't hit.
Doesn't hit. Hey, Bungie, could you pause? Could you take a quick pause on your 8th Destiny 2 expansion and go back and fix some of that Halo stuff that doesn't hit?
They tried to get 343 to fix some of that, and then they didn't. They just made some different stuff not hit.
They made some different stuff. No, I mean, come on, whatever. That remake is good. I stand by it. The button to swap between art styles is just the greatest thing that's ever been put in a remake. Oh
yeah, so sure. I although my contention is that if the thing that you need for your remake to be good is a button that lets you bring it back to how it used to be, and if that button wasn't there, then it would kind of suck. That means that your remake isn't actually that good, and just that one button is good.
That's true, but here, like, what I mean is, I'm just a fucking weirdo. You know me.
I know that you're. I
just mean for me the button. You know, I need that button. I think Halo Anniversary holds up as a remake for normal people.
No.
Oh, okay.
I think that you think that you're being weird, but actually you're being normal.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I think that everyone likes that button, and that that Halo Anniversary is weaker, is a relatively weak remake without it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take. Yeah, you're right. Was I? Oh, we talked about Destiny like on last week's show or on some recent
couple weeks ago.
And I thought about it. You know, I think I really realized why I hate Destiny so much.
Is it's
boring? I don't think it has much to do with Destiny actually.
Yeah.
I think I realized what it is you listen to game podcasts.
Okay.
Sometimes a game comes out.
Yeah.
People are excited about it. Yeah. You're not excited about it.
Sure.
It's kind of a hassle to have to listen to people talk about it.
Sure.
You're like, okay, yeah, 4 weeks of listening to people, yak about, I don't know, Animal Crossing.
Right.
And it's like,
that's a big one for me.
Destiny has never really been great, but also I've never gotten to stop hearing people talk about it.
Right. Every game podcast still talks about Destiny every once in a while.
Yeah, for the past decade, people have just been constantly shoving Destiny in my face and forcing me to hear about it. And I'm just so sick of it.
Okay, I definitely think that's part of it, but I think you're forgetting that the reason you feel that way is because Destiny's not fun. If Destiny was interesting, then you'd be interested in hearing about it all the time.
Listen, I think I have to be honest, and I have to remind both myself and you that I only played Destiny 1 pre-expansions and then like an hour of Destiny 2. So I really haven't touched any of the recent stuff.
Seti says, I think the reason y'all hate Destiny is that you hate MMOs. That's not true. Only I hate MMOs.
Yeah,
Kylie is kind of an MMO fiend.
No, I'm not an MMO fiend, but I have been known to like an MMO.
You played a lot of World of Warcraft.
I played a lot of World of Warcraft, but and weirdly, not a lot by World of Warcraft player standards. I'm actually like a noob compared to them, but I have played a lot of World of Warcraft.
Do you want to give a guess at an hour count?
I can give you like some pretty close figures on an hour count. It's something like 1,500.
That's a really, really long time.
I know, and isn't it fucked up that that's not a really long time in World of Warcraft terms?
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Especially because that game's bad. So
you know what's funny is Burning Crusade just got added to WoW Classic, and I'm remembering how like my introduction to WoW was like racing to try to get to level 70 to do raiding in Burning Crusade, but I didn't make it before Wrath of the Lich King came out, and I'm like, this is my chance. I could go back. I can turn back the clock. I can go back in time to when Burning Crusade raiding is a thing, and I could do it. All I'd have to do is like drop 200 hours into World of Warcraft, and then or 3, and then I'd be ready. You know?
Seems like a bad deal.
I'm a druid tank. All I have to do is run Steam Vaults like 25, 30 times to get enough rep to get the Earth Warden mace from.
This is such a bad idea.
I know.
People should just stop playing MMOs. It always turns out bad. I remember when Austin was thinking but this is before he decided to play Final Fantasy 14. He was thinking about starting to play Final Fantasy 14 and was like, should I drop all this time into Final Fantasy 14 to see what people are talking about with Final Fantasy 14? And I was like, no, you shouldn't. You won't like it.
Could I say real quick, if Austin's listening to this, I'd like to say to Austin, thank you for taking one for the team.
Yeah.
I found your information on your quest through Final Fantasy 14 to be very helpful and instructive, and that is why I will not be playing any more of that game.
But it was so funny because I would listen to the follow-up to that on Waypoint as he made his way through, and it was sort of like he was it always felt like he was just about to enjoy it, right? And then the last time that he talked about it was basically like, I fucking am done with this game. I hate all of these characters. Like, I was just like, I'm sure that it wasn't wasted time, but this is sort of how I feel about MMOs, is like the thing that it asks of you is basically impossible to be fulfilling. I think that there's a lot of promise of fulfillment within the MMO structure, and it cannot give you what you want from it just because of how it is. Like, it's just impossible.
It's fundamentally a treadmill, but if you end up enjoying the treadmill, then you're good for life, basically. I'll give you a quick I'll give you a quick rundown of my favorite, of like the thing about World of Warcraft that really made me fall in love with it more than anything else. But real quick, I'll say, Seti in the chat saying, for reference on how little 1,500 hours is for an MMO, compared to MMO people, I currently have 605 days in Final Fantasy 14, so almost 10 times what Kylie had in WoW, and that's a much newer game. And Lake Scum, appropriate name, because they're saying, I'm listening to this while playing FF14 right now like a chump.
Damn. Quit now.
Quit now.
Or forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
So the thing, okay. I get your point about the treadmill, right? My most played game of all time, as I've said before, is Halo 2. I've played between 4,000 and 5,000 hours of Halo 2. Woo. It's quite a bit of Halo 2.
Woo.
I think it's probably closer to this is sort of a rough estimate, right? When Bungie.net existed and you could go and see how many games that you've played, it doesn't give you a time played, but it gives you like, here's how many matchmaking matches you've played. And so I just did the math. I'm like, here's how long your average match is. times how many games I've played. And then I was like, and I spend about double or triple that much time in custom games with friends. So it is a rough estimate, but it is probably somewhere in the 4,000s. And so it's hard to say, right, that at some point you're 3,000 hours deep into Halo 2, and that's not a treadmill, right?
Right.
Like, it's not like I was doing any story. It's not like I was, there was no new mechanics that I was. It was just the love of the game. It was just the love of the game. I just really like the game.
And some people, they love MMOs.
And that is where I'm saying you're wrong.
I love this. Every fucking week, Keith comes with a new person who isn't correct about the things they think about their own taste. Yeah. But the thing that really, I mean,
if we weren't willing to be extremely prescriptive as a joke, then we wouldn't have a podcast.
We wouldn't have a podcast. Yeah. You don't start a podcast unless you have a fundamental need to tell people what you think.
Yeah. Look, when I say that someone is wrong about something that they like, I say that knowing that if you really truly liked it, you would have the strength of will to not be affected by me saying that they're wrong.
That's quite a leap, but I'll take it.
Wrong, it's not a leap.
Okay. I'll tell you my favorite thing about playing WoW. I really like.
Hey, SETI, the Final Fantasy 14 SETI just said that I'm right. So there you go.
Yeah, Keith is right here, I think. Fuck you, SETI. SETI says, I've cut back on FF14 a lot in the last year or so, mostly just raid logging, but damn, the raids in that game are good. That's good. I have heard that.
Okay, SETI says that I'm right about if you really like it not being affected, not about being wrong for liking MMOs. Okay, that's fair. I thought you were saying that truly MMOs is a weak style of game. That's fine that you disagree.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
And Juliet asking, speaking of podcast, are you ever going to upload any of these to the actual Run Button podcast?
I keep saying it.
Game of the year. No, we won't, because this is half a video. It can't be a podcast.
Yes, it can. This is a disagreement that Kylie and I keep having, where she wants to stop doing Snooze Button and instead just do two different shows that are a podcast and a regular game stream. And then I said, that's just what we used to do. Is what we did.
No, but we were never regular about any of it. Like I said earlier in the episode, we put out, 50 complex rockets in a year and a half, and in 10 years of Run Button, we haven't even hit that number.
But we did like 48 Snooze Buttons in 1 year.
Yeah, so now imagine, so we could take that regularity and instead of applying it to a show that nobody's watching, we could apply it to a podcast people would listen to.
Okay, so I disagree on 2 points.
That's not. Yeah, people are watching the show. It's not.
Okay, so then I disagree on 3 points. Okay, so you already hit the one disagreement, which is that people are watching this. The second thing is, I don't think that just because we would do a podcast on its own, that would get us more people watching. And then the third disagreement is that just because we're regular about this doesn't mean we'll be regular about doing something else, because we've done other things and we've never been regular about them. This is the only thing we've been able to do consistently ever.
This is the first time we've ever been able to do something consistently, because we gave ourselves a weekly day and time.
Yeah.
So we just have to do that for the podcast. See, so I'll give I'd love to hear people's thoughts in either the chat or the comments. My thinking behind wanting to separate it into a game stream and a podcast is just that way it's like, a podcast if someone wants to listen to the podcast on YouTube, they can still do that. But if someone wants to listen to it in their podcast app while they walk to work or something, then they could do that if we were putting out an RSS feed real podcast.
Right.
Or
So
and if somebody only wants to see us play a game and doesn't want to not watch a game for the first half of it, then they wouldn't have to do that if we were doing a pure game stream.
SETI says, what if you just cut the podcast half of Snooze Buttons spliced in at the end for the video portion of this episode? Go to Twitch/YouTube bumper. I have been saying this for literally months.
We tried it.
I've done it a few times. The part of the problem is that Kylie has been doing most of the streaming for the last 6 months. I have only hosted Snooze like 5 times since last fall. And so I have been saying this, and then Kylie has not been doing it. I also haven't done it on the ones that I've hosted, but I also didn't think that the podcast half was particularly strong. This one is good. The thing that I like about having both is that they're self-correcting, right? So it's like we were talking about earlier, there's not a lot of video game stuff to talk about, right? Sometimes we have a lot of podcasts in us and sometimes we don't. And so the video game part can move based on just how much we want to be talking.
See, I think the problem is we always have too much podcast and we don't leave enough room for game.
That's fair.
I had a thought and it disappeared, as my thoughts so often do.
Well, with that, maybe we should go into the game.
Wait.
Okay.
Real quick, I was gonna say okay, 2 things about the turning it into a podcast. The first thing is it would be a lot of extra work to cut that out and re-upload it, even though it doesn't sound like it is.
I disagree. I don't think it would be any extra work. I mean, the couple times that I've done it, it wasn't really that much extra work.
I just fundamentally don't think that the first half of I don't think the discussion part of a snooze button works. Well, I mean, I think it does work on its own. I don't know. It doesn't, like, there isn't a definitive ending to the talk part. You know, like,
right.
Well,
that's the other thing is that I used to do that when I was hosting them every week. I would do a definitive end to it. You can go back to the first few snooze buttons, and I did definitive ends to when we start. But you have gotten a lot more casual in the split, and so this is just a problem with style. You could. If the problem is that there's no definitive end, just create a definitive end.
No. I haven't gotten... My real thing is that I think often our conversations continue on from part 1 into part 2. So if you're just listening to part 1, you're not getting the whole thing.
Right, but they're never going to get... That's part of the point, is then if they want the whole thing, they can go to the YouTube.
All right. Why don't we get into today's game?
Atchinson says the first part works on its own. I only listen to the first part. You should listen to the second part, or you should watch it, or listen, or whatever. You know what part of the problem is? You know what the biggest weakness of Run Button is?
I think it's not funny that they thought. Go ahead. Wait.
It's not anything that we do. The biggest downfall to Run Button is that everyone has Apple phones where you can't shut off your phone screen and still listen to YouTube. I guess they took away that on Android too. You have to pay for YouTube Premium, which I do because I use YouTube Music, not Spotify. So I guess hot tip for the Android users out there: ditch Spotify. It sucks anyway. YouTube Music is better, and it lets you upload your own music to it.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it lets you turn off your phone screen while you have YouTube going, and that is crucial. I think. I mean, it's just a crucial functionality for Android phones that they took out in order to make you pay for YouTube Premium. But
Atchinson, why do you only listen to the first part?
Yeah,
game videos is what we do. Why are you even a fan of us if you don't want our game videos?
Maybe, I mean, it's on the Twitch. Maybe Atchinson is not. Well, I guess then why are you on Twitch if you don't want to watch games?
You can listen on YouTube with the phone screen off if you run it in browser and force the desktop site. What?
Good tip.
Whoa.
Good tip. Atchinson's coming with tips.
Yeah, Atchinson's off the shit list.
Yeah, you're allowed to get yourself off.
You're still on there.
Who's still on there?
How are you allowed to get yourself off?
Oh, you're allowed to get yourself onto the shit list as long as you trade yourself off of it with 1 tip. It's 1 tip
Oh.
per shit is the rate.
Mm-hmm. Um, Atchinson, imagine how much you'd like this show if it was just a podcast in your podcast app, though.
Paradox Persona says, hate that all music is streaming only, though. What do you mean by that?
I think they mean like you can't download YouTube music locally.
Yo, you can.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
So if you thought that, then you were wrong, and you should get YouTube Music. It's better. I mean, I also think it plays slightly higher quality files. I think it's mostly negligible, but if you've got a good pair of headphones, why not get the one that is giving you a little bit more of a bit rate there? Lake Scum says breaking up with Spotify and going back to SoulSleek / torrenting. Torrenting everything was by far my best 2021 New Year's resolution. Oh yeah, I have I'm exclusively using an iPod Mini still, including for podcasts. I have an app on my desktop called G-Potter that has an automatically updating podcast library that is tied to a folder on the iPod Mini. So as soon as I plug my iPod Mini in, it updates with G-Potter to get all my podcasts in there. And it is basically only less convenient than doing it on a phone app in that I have to use my desktop to do it. But now I've got like all my old music as like high quality FLAC files playing off of Rockbox on my iPod Mini, and it's great. I'm done.
We love that.
Yep, I'm done. I'm done with my smartphone. I hate it.
That's too bad because I was just watching Techmoan videos about DAPs, and they look cooler than iPod Minis.
Yeah, I'm saving up for a DAP. I've talked about this before, but my goal is to get a really nice DAP and a flip phone and be done with smartphones. They make DAPs that Techmoan, I believe, has the Sony Walkman DAP, which is which is nice. The A105, I believe, is what, I think he has both. He has like the older one and then the newer A105 DAP.
Mm-hmm.
DAPs have strengths and weaknesses. One of the strengths is that some of the newer ones are built on Android, so they're basically like hi-fi iPod Touches with Android.
Yeah, real quick, DAP just stands for digital audio player. Yeah. It's just what you call an MP3 player now that you understand that it doesn't just play MP3 files.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So like that Sony one, a lot of the newer ones, because people want to be streaming music, are built on an Android platform that gives you access to the Play Store, which gives you access to like Spotify and Tidal and whatever. And the good thing about that is like, okay, if I can get a Wi-Fi only Android music player that plays really high quality music locally off of an SD card, but doesn't take cell phone calls or text messages, then I will have a thing that will let me use Twitter and YouTube on Wi-Fi, but that doesn't do cell phone stuff, and I can get a dumb phone.
Oh, the DAP does some
of them do.
YouTube and whatever.
Yeah, some of them do. That Sony Walkman one does. I'm looking at FIO, FIIO is a company that I'm looking at for one. iBasso is another one. Shanling. Those are the three DAP manufacturers that I'm like looking into for.
Hey,
I think we're back.
Are we back? Hey,
I think we're back.
Are we back?
All right. So tell me about the Techmoan video.
Oh, just that
Techmoan came up 2 weeks in a row. That's so weird.
I'm just always watching Techmoan.
Everyone's always watching Techmoan.
Everyone's watching Techmoan.
It's very funny. I was one time. It was a couple years ago. I was at my cousin Ted's house, and
we might not be back.
What's that?
I asked if we're back, and Antacid Canada said not yet.
We're definitely back.
We're definitely back. Okay, let me.
If we're not back, you should refresh. Tell them to refresh.
I'm gonna refresh right now and see what I see. Uh-oh. No.
Steady
Wait.
says we're back.
Oh, it's
we're
there.
back.
It's there.
Yeah,
It's there.
Yeah, I know we're back. I can see when we are not on and when we're on. It tells me.
Hey, this stuff's always not always accurate.
Okay. Tell people in the chat to refresh if we're not back.
Have you heard of a high-end DAP
Yes.
brand that's two names?
Astle and Kern?
Like, yes.
Yeah.
So
how good was that? Nailed it.
Nailed it, yeah. So that company like owns another like more budget brand, and so that's called Activo, or that's the name of the DAP or something. It's like Activo is like it's basically an Astle and Kern but cheaper, and doesn't look as good. Doesn't look nearly as nice.
Okay, to be fair, I think a lot of the Astle and Kerns are really ugly.
Let me take a look at those again.
Some of them, like, they're clearly really well built. They're like brushed metal. They're like totally solid aluminum and glass. They have really sharp curves. They have great looking buttons, but they are extremely ostentatiously designed. Like some of them have like a bizarre Art Deco flair. So they have bizarre oblong shapes.
I love most of these. Like I went to Google and typed in Astle and Kern, and it's like some of these have like 80s Walkman energy.
So they're trying to tell you something with the designs, and what they're trying to tell me is this is not actually meant for carrying around in your pocket while you go to the grocery store. Like what it's actually meant for is like walking around your mansion to go from a dining room to the foyer.
Yeah. Because these things are like $2,000 or something insane.
Oh yeah, they range. I think their lowest models are in the low thousands, and they go up to like 4,000.
Astle and Kern Ultima SP2000, first music player with a dual AK4499 EQ DAX, priced at $3,500.
Yeah, they're really expensive. Audio stuff's really expensive. The thing that's interesting to me is it's funny how, like, I think it's sort of underappreciated how solved video is compared to audio.
Really?
Yeah, like video, like
Audio's
everyone knows
solved?
what's that?
Audio's not solved?
No, it's extremely unsolved.
Whoa, unsolved murders,
unsolved audios. So
who killed the cassette?
There's sort of like so the difference is when your question is like, I want the upper echelons of video playback. What are my options? Your options are really simple. And if your question is the same thing but for audio, it's actually really complicated.
Okay, you meant from a device standpoint. I thought you meant in terms of like encoding. I was like, oh, aren't audio codecs way more solved than video codecs? But
no.
if you mean like devices, then yeah, I totally get that.
No, not just devices. I mean like literally, how do you get this? Especially for digital, like how do you get these files to be sound, right? That is not like they're all this money. Like the reason that the Astle and Kern stuff is really expensive is because they do all this work to like build all these things that makes the audio sound the way that they like it.
Well, yeah, it's got dual AK4499 EQ DAX.
Yeah, that's
not. You're not going to get that for $2,000. Come on, get serious.
I don't know what that DAC is. It's probably nice. I don't know.
Sure.
Like Astle and Kern's the luxury brand.
I hope it's nice for $3,500.
I'm sure it's nice.
I love the look of it though. Honestly, I know it sounds like you don't.
One?
But
well, it depends which one. But
it is. I think it might be the Art Deco one you're talking about.
Link it to me.
Okay, yeah.
Is the one with the weird slanted screen? Because I hate that one. Oh no! I don't hate this one, but I don't love this one either. So here, I'll put this up on the thing.
It is. I thought this was like an HTML like formatting error when they called it the A and Ultima, but it seems A ampersand Ultima, one word, is the name of the product.
Yeah.
I guess like A and K is the company, and this is A and Ultima SP2000. The first ever music player with dual AK4499 EQ DAX.
Damn, I can't believe they have that.
Yeah. They have DAC.
Yeah. So,
Are
like,
we
okay, so to me, right, the thing is with video, I think better, what is better, what thing looks better on video is a much less subjective question. Like,
yeah.
everyone sort of agrees what the best looking video is.
Yeah.
Like with audio, so it's like, imagine if video was full of devices where like the color temperature was wildly different, and that was a matter of taste and not a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Where it's like, sure, some people like really accurate colors, but some people like everything to be really warm for no reason. That is why audio is so weird.
That is true. That like so often I go into someone's home and I look at their TV screen and I'm like, oh god, it's hideous. It's hideous. Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know. But with audio, I mean, sometimes they don't know. But it's because when they're spending $1,200, they know.
Sure.
You know, or not all the time, but you know, a lot of the time. Like there's two ways to know about Astle and Kern, and it's either that you are rich and you told your personal shopper to get you the best audio player, and they go, best is more expensive, so I guess it's Astle and Kern, or you're really genuinely into it, and so you know Astle and Kern because that's the most expensive player, and so they sort of de facto in the conversation. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with, like, I'm not saying that they sound bad and they're overpriced, although they almost certainly are overpriced. It's just that you know, all that stuff is a matter of taste in a way that with video it's kind of not.
What I love about the Activo CT10 is the cheaper one I was talking about. I'll link you that one. It has kind of a fugly look to it, but I do love the volume knob. Like,
they're all about volume knobs, like DAPs in general, not just Astle and Kern.
I've noticed that. Knobs need to come back. I'm fully on board.
I've got to say, so here's the thing: it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
No, you get the fuck out of here. You were all knobs before, weren't you?
No.
Are you gonna anti-knob me right now?
No. You're misinterpreting what I'm doing.
Okay.
I will say, as long as we're on the knobs, though, I don't love the idea of having a knob that can get turned in your pocket without you wanting to do that.
Yeah. But you need to have some kind of hold function.
Yeah. So I look at this, and there's two ways. This is $300. This is not a cheap thing.
So much cheaper than the $3,500, though.
Sure. But there's a lot of
when I already have this phone, it is expensive.
Okay, let me get this up on the thing because it can really go multiple ways. There it is.
I love knobs. I'm a real knob gobbler.
Okay.
Yum yum.
That is the sub-brand Astle and Kern Activo. The thing that this makes me think, so the build quality is so obviously simpler, right? What is this? Is this maybe glass touchscreen with plastic back, maybe?
It honestly looks like an Apple Watch let itself go and can't fit into its strap anymore.
So
that's like literally what it fucking looks like, right?
It's hard to tell, though.
The screen is off center. Like, that is real. The screen doesn't take up the whole front of it.
The thing that's hard to tell is that if this is $300 because the internals are really, really good and they saved a ton of money on the chassis, or if it's $300 because it's still Astle and Kern and it's overpriced. Because
it sounds like it's the first one. I mean, this review from Theo Nicholas says, sweet sound, compact size, superb interface, rich feature set, and a $299 price tag render this player a steal.
Okay, I mean, that's fair. Let's see.
4.5.
I just 5. Like it when you're in the that price range, though. Like, look at this. Look at this handsome device. This is also $300.
Do you have a handsome Tom for me?
Here's a handsome Tom.
Ooh. How much is that one?
$300, same price.
But
so this is a much better looking device, and so I'm not sure. That's why I'm not sure, like, which one, like, is this one $300 because it sounds worse but has a much better look to it. I mean, this is just a much sharper looking device,
right? And
it's also a full Android machine, so you can get streaming on it. This is the iBasso DX160, I believe, and so it's got a better look. It's got a bigger screen. You can download streaming apps. You can use YouTube. You could use Twitter on it. I mean, it's basically a $400 hi-fi iPod Touch that runs Android, and it actually sounds good. But like that, the Aston, that's why I'm trying to. I don't know, like, which one of these is better. Is it $300 because they can charge $300, or is it $300 because it's genuinely really, really good and it just has like a shitty chassis?
Listen, Keith, I'm the DAP Lord now. I know I'm the DAP Lord Dank, and I know all the best DAPs. I've seen 2 different reviews for that CT10, and they both said it was good.
Lake Scum says that the thing that's bumming them out about the DAPs is that the storage is like 16 gigs. They all take SD cards. Most of them take up to a terabyte. So that you have to factor that into the cost. But I think that, like, on the lowest end, a machine like this would take a 256 gig SD card, but a lot of them can take a terabyte. So,
please use a keyframe frequency of 4 seconds or less. Currently, keyframes are not being sent often enough, which can cause buffering. Keith, you should up your keyframes.
What are you talking about?
We have on the YouTube stream dashboard. It's like, hey, your keyframes are too infrequent. We're upset about this. Perhaps that is what caused our crash. And I think someone in the chat said they said it's skipping here too, but I don't know what they didn't clarify if they meant like stuttering stream or whatever.
That's weird. Is it still skipping, or has it been good? YouTube specifically, but everyone?
Yeah, let us know. I'm going to take a listen.
Okay.
I'm going to take a listen in the stream right now.
You know what's funny?
Sounds good.
You know what's funny?
Nah. What?
I know why you're the DAP Lord.
Why?
Because I've been watching independently all of these DAP videos, and they're just popping up on the Run Button YouTube because of that.
No, I don't think that. No, because you got YouTube Premium on your account, and you've been using your own account since then. So I stopped getting your recommendations.
No, that's not true. I've been logged into the Run Button, the YouTube, for weeks on my desktop, and that's where I've been watching stuff.
It's possible. I'm not gonna say it's not possible, but the DAP video that I saw was from Techmoan, which, as previously established, I'm just watching all the time.
Fair. That's fair. And
maybe it's specific. Maybe it was like, hey, the 2 things we know about you is that you love Techmoan and you love DAP.
Yeah.
So here you go.
Yeah. I'll say that I haven't been watching the Techmoan DAP videos because I've seen those already like 2 years ago when they were new.
Right.
But
are we wanting to move on
to the game,
to the thing?
Yeah, we are wanting that.
Okay. All right. Are we cutting this and putting this on the podcast?
We've got to now. We have to do that so that people can listen to that meta discussion on whether or not that was going to happen. Knowing that it has, you can go to youtube.com/runbutton to watch the archive of the whole thing, including the next bit where we play LA Noire. And as always, you can go to contentburger.biz to sign up for our Patreon. I moved to a more expensive. It was so moving was so expensive. It was the worst. I mean, we did the Final Fantasy thing right? We did the Final Fantasy marathon, and people were extremely generous, and it saved my ass, like literally. And like here's how much of a scam renting is. It was only because of bank issues that I wasn't able to put a down payment on that house. The bank wanted this year or last year's tax returns, right? And I was not able to provide them because I did not have all the stuff that I needed to do that. And my landlord was getting really impatient, and so I couldn't postpone it, and so I just had to move instead.
That's such bullshit.
I know, it's like, miserable.
He had no grounds to be that pushy about it. He gave you like no notice.
Yeah. All of that money pretty much is gone. used up in moving. It was a little extra money I spent on what's it called? The U-Haul. On the U-Haul, because my car was broken, so I couldn't do any of the driving in my car, so I had to like keep the U-Haul for 5 or 6 days instead of like 2 or 3. And then I had to fix my car because my car was broken, and that was $1,300, and then everything else gone. It's all gone. So it's like, you want to know how expensive it is to rent an apartment? Almost as expensive it is to put a down payment on a house.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. Our Patreon used to cover my rent, but my new rent is more expensive, and so it doesn't anymore. So if you feel up to it, go to contentburger.biz.
I think we're gonna be finishing Shenmue 2 soon and moving on to something new.
Yeah, we are. I had a good idea of what we should do, and I don't think we should do it anymore because it's a bad idea now.
Oh, it was a good idea.
It was. We can't do it anymore.
What?
I don't think so.
You motherfucker.
We'll talk about it.
I held off from playing that game because you said.
We might be thinking of different things then.
Oh, okay.
But we'll talk about it after. Bring it up after, because there's no way that you were planning on playing that game.
Oh, okay. Then whatever it was, fucking no.
Okay. So we're gonna play it. We're gonna play LA Noire. Go to the if you're on the podcast thing, go to the YouTube and watch it.
This was not my decision.
Why do you have to qualify that? What do you think? People are going to be like, I can't believe they fucking are doing something else. That's stupid. What? Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why it's not a big deal?
I meant LA Noire.
Oh, okay. Do you want to know why it's not a big deal that that the discussion sometimes carries over between the two? Because when we record normally, that's what we do anyway. When we just record our Let's Plays.
I know. But I don't like that we do that. We shouldn't do it.
Yeah, but it's the reality.
We shouldn't, though.
Okay, and now I'm going to screen share with you.
Cool. You should have put the DAP pictures on the stream so that people could see what we were talking about.
I did.
Oh.
Yeah, so there you go.
Good job.
No.
Hey, nice work.
Thanks.
Keith, does it move the needle on the Activo CT10 for you at all to know that the one Tecmone got looked like a Sega Saturn on the back?
No.
And it came with Supersonic Racing built into the memory. The song.
It came with
that move the needle.
Wait, it came with what?
It came with the Sonic R song, Supersonic Racing.
It came with that?
Yeah, built into the it had 5 Sega soundtrack songs on it.
That can't be right.
Yeah. It was a Japanese thing.
Okay.
Yeah, not America. We don't get cool Sega stuff over here. But they only have the Japanese Saturn colors, which were gray and white. They didn't have a black.
Wow, okay. So you're not seeing this yet. The stream is seeing this. LA Noire has miserable settings. I have to click through all of the different display modes to get to 1080. It won't. It won't let
Oh
me see a
no.
list. There's like 30.
No.
I'm like still going.
I'm seeing this on the stream.
There we go. I also, by the way, it prompted me to set this up before. It prompted me to set that up before starting the game, and I did, and none of it saved. So I'm glad about that.
Good. Yep.
And what I'm trying to do and failing is I'm trying to make it windowed because it won't let me. Oh, it won't go back. I'm hitting escape to go back, and it won't go back. There we go. I had to hit cancel. Let's see. Graphics. Interface size. What I'm trying to do is make it windowed.
Okay.
So that I can, because it won't let me share my screen with you, because when I minimize the game, it disappears from the applications list on Discord, which is rare. That usually is not what happens.
So I know that you're in the middle of fucking with this, but just in case you didn't know, it looks totally wrong on the stream. It's like all cropped off.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
I do know that. But I can't fix it until it's windowed.
There's no option in display?
Nope. 0 options in display to fix that. It did have an option before I started the game. It launches, instead of launching LA Noire, it launches the Rockstar launcher.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And there was an option there to make it windowed. Connecting to Rockstar. There we go. And so I had to quit out. Let's see. It looks like it's just launching right back into the game.
When do you think they're gonna make LA Noire online?
This year.
We're all gonna be forming gangs of detectives. We're gonna be cruising around in our Chryslers.
Who doesn't love a good Chrysler? Okay, so the first time that I launched it from what? This is so annoying.
I'm so glad that this isn't getting included on the podcast feed because this is embarrassing. Ted's here. Ted says in all caps, "Hi Keith, you appeared in my YouTube recommends. If I type in caps, it's embarrassing."
Hi Ted.
That's Keith's cousin who's not my cousin. Don't add us. This makes sense.
It makes sense. Don't be confused by that. It's embarrassing. Okay. So, general. Okay.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Don't get my hopes up for a return of Uru Ages Beyond Mist. First, I mean, if you mean a return as in the game being online so that you can play it, that's already happened. It's called Uru Mist Online again, and it's free. If you mean us playing Uru, we're totally gonna do it. So don't you worry, it's happening. And all of you out there saying don't play Uru next, play Mist 4 next, all I can say to you is I hear you, you've been heard, and the more you tell me this, the more I am certain we are doing Uru next. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Do you have...
Where I talk to Ted.
Do you have the game?
LA Noire?
Yes. Is it screen shared with you now?
No, I have no screen share.
What? Why?
And also the stream is a black screen. Ted says, I mean a cultural zeitgeist where I can ask weird questions in a dunny cave over voice chat to some random dude. I mean...
All right, I'm just going to have to do this the busted way then. because it's not
I'm gonna
working.
have to take exception with the assertion that there was ever a cultural zeitgeist around Uru. But no, you might have to. I don't know how populated the servers are, but you might
I'm
have
sure
to
they're
bring your
really,
own.
really populated.
I mean, there definitely are people playing that game. How often you're gonna find a random dude to ask weird questions to over voice chat, I couldn't say. I mean, if you play with Keith like the whole time.
All right, I've disabled mix minus. And then I'm just going to check. I'm just doing this the junky way. So I just have to make sure that I have echo cancellation on for you. Do you hear yourself in an echo, by the way?
Yeah.
How bad?
Pretty bad.
Okay. Voice and video.
Ted says there was some love in the game tap days. And I saw screenshot evidence of that. There was lots of people wearing leprechaun hats lined up, and they're all like, wow, we're really doing it. We're in Uru right now. We have leprechaun hats on.
Okay, how about now?
Now I don't hear myself.
Great.
And the game is not cropped weird on the stream.
Yep, I fixed all of it.
Wow.
Just weird game problems. Hey, there's apparently, if you choose to launch LA Noire in full screen mode at the start, you never have an opportunity to change that. That's just, you have that forever now.
Keith, oh shit.
Yeah.
I finally remembered the sign-off line I wanted for the podcast part of this show. I'm going to say it now. You just splice it back in, okay? You just splice it back in, okay?
Got it.
Now, do you think it's fucked up that after so many years of shamelessly ripping us off, the only way left for Giant Bomb to copy us was to go fully independent and start a
Based not on
Patreon?
the man, but on the automobile.
That's going to be our sign-off?
The symbol of freedom and vitality.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I'll
Apparently
cut
you
that
did
out.
it.
I'll cut that out, and I'll blop it in. They're hanging on our every word.
I was joking about the splicing it part. I just thought you might think it was funny, but I guess not.
No, I did think it was funny.
The city where a man's home is his castle. A quarter acre of the dream made
Jesus
possible by
Christ.
victory.
You played this game, right?
Yeah, when it came out, I played it.
To completion?
Yep.
Okay. As did I.
The city of dreams.
It's the only, until Red Dead Redemption 2, it was the only Rockstar game I had ever completed.
That's funny. Not even really a Rockstar game.
The city of pioneers.
I have to
looks like
say,
Nathan Lane.
I'm, obviously gonna see how it looks. Gonna see how it looks right before my very eyes. But in the small clips I've seen of this game in recent years, facial animation still really impressive.
Oh, part of the reason I wanted to see this was because I felt the exact opposite.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
I don't remember any of this.
A city of undercurrents. Where not everything is as it seems.
Hollywoodland.
Are you
Back when it was still racist.
Are you watching the?
A 20th century.
It's still
city will
racist.
Become a model for the world.
Well, yeah.
Are you not watching the screen share screen?
No, I'm
A
not.
city that has no boundaries.
That's because it's not on the screen share screen.
That will stretch as far
Sorry.
as the eye.
It's not.
No, I just have your icon in a big blank window. But that's okay. I'll just look at the stream.
I don't understand what it is. I
In
mean,
the Marine Corps, you deal with the chain of command. Mistakes get made, but you deal with them.
I don't
You know what
understand
you're
what it is
fighting,
about
you're on the same
old
team.
games
But dealing
where
with
they're
corruption is like
unable to
chasing
be
shadows.
normally captured
You never know whether the guy you're
in a way
talking
that
to
makes
is on
sense.
the
Yeah.
path, or whether it's your partner, or maybe even the
Guess
watch
the
commander.
capture techniques must
Who you
tap
trust, Cole?
into stuff.
I made up my mind a long time
Rockstar not known for their PC games. Let's be honest.
Not technically a Rockstar game. Or I guess it's
Well,
only
KGP.
technically.
This one
a
was.
Rockstar
This
game.
one was right. Like the port.
Well, just that it wasn't like Rockstar developed in the traditional way.
Roger,
Ooh.
14 Adam en route.
Rough hop in there.
Okay, so
Plus
now that
some
we're in the
whatever,
game, let's
not
see if
the-
maybe we do have. Interface size. Is that just this? really doesn't
I
have
can't-
it. Like, it really doesn't have a windowed mode.
Maybe you. Well, yeah.
I also, by the way, tried doing the alt enter thing. That also doesn't
cool.
work.
Yeah. He might have been able to add like a shortcut argument, you know, like a force windowed mode or something. Wait, in display mode, is maybe windowed like a separate type of resolution? Will it be like 1080 windowed instead of just 1080? I hear a lot of clicks.
No.
Bummer.
Unless I have to change it to 1080 60 first.
And why wouldn't you? Oh, because
No.
you're on 165. Oh, wow.
Yeah. It really isn't. It really isn't on the screen. The screen share.
No, it's fine. It's okay.
I mean, it's really. I feel like it's not.
It's all right.
Miserable. I mean, I guess I can at least do this. I can at least do.
What?
Almost there. Sorry, Kylie's gotta have the video. She's gotta.
I gotta?
Yeah, you gotta.
Okay.
Here. Applications and there we go. Okay. So now
Can
you
you
got
do the whole
now you
window?
got it.
Do the whole window.
I know that's what I was doing. That's why I'm surprised that it was
Mm.
okay. So how about now?
Oh, wait. Oh, it was showing me like the wrong thing.
What do
So
you
yeah,
mean?
I have it.
Well,
Like-
so before I was capturing the whole game window.
No. Like it was showing me you, but now I pull back and it's showing 3 people in the chat: me, you, and your screen share, like as a
Oh.
separate thing.
Well, okay.
And so I had to like find a different menu and then click on the
let
right
me
thing.
let me try the way that I had it before, just so that you can get the bigger game. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Now do you have the whole screen?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, so you did have it. It was just a weird Discord error.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
a Discord. All right.
Responding. Yes, I'm here.
Oh. Okay. Well, I had to close the screen share and reopen it.
Okay. Is it
This
still
is
working?
a fist hump.
Yeah.
Just going through the motions.
Probably right. Let's just get.
Here, let's options.
So explain to me, what is it? So Keith today just all of a sudden is like, what if we did LA Noire for Snooze Button? And I'm like, what? Why? No. What? No. So why?
A couple reasons. So the first thing is that I'm trying to find subtitles. Is this game
Audio?
does this
Audio?
game just have miserable
Yeah.
lack of anything?
Yep.
There's no windowed
what it looks
mode. There's no
No sound in the
there's
sound
no
option?
subtitles.
Get it over and done.
All right, have it your way. We'll search
Wow.
right up to
I've
the
been
back
seeing
wall.
clips of this
If you
game
still come
around.
up
I don't
with
really know
anything, come
why.
find me and we'll talk it out.
Uh-huh.
2 heads are always better than 1.
I've been seeing clips of this game and been like, wow, it looks just like busted to me. Like
you doing,
the way
Cole?
that they
You've
do
gone
the
too far.
faces, like it's so high effort and so low return, I feel like.
I thought it was very high return. The only part that looked janky was anytime like a character will open their mouth real wide, the inside of their mouth looks weird and not right. Like they have a flat blackness instead of like a dark mouth inside.
Yeah. I don't know. It has this like weird smoothing quality to it. Like the frame rate on the faces is lower than the frame rate everywhere else. but they've
that's probably true. There's probably just less frames of animation.
but they've smoothed it.
So where are we going?
Have a good look around. It could be anywhere.
Have a good look around. He could be anywhere.
Anywhere.
So I don't think it's here because I had my flashlight out over there, and I feel like it's probably where I had the flashlight out. Right?
Oh yeah, it's probably.
See, this is the crumbs. See here, I got the flashlight.
Okay, yeah.
So I've been seeing it around. I've been seeing like all the goofy looking faces.
But you remember the game was about, it's a lot about reading people's faces.
Yeah.
And this game, like that, like having to read someone's face and decide if they looked honest or not, or looked like they were lying, was like a kind of gameplay that really just hadn't been in a game before, because facial animation fidelity hadn't been
I can see the discarded weapon here, but I don't know what button to pick it up.
Maybe you don't.
Okay, there we go. I just was not over it the right way.
Yeah, you had to walk past it, obviously.
Use a WASD to manipulate an object.
Look at this from all angles. Yeah, it sure is a pistol, all right.
Yeah, wow, look at that.
Yep, 6 chambers, a barrel, trigger. Yep, it's all here.
Serial
There's the hammer.
S71893.
I'm going to remember that serial number. That's going to be important.
Oh, wow, it's a Smith & Wesson. They
2
paid the
rounds
big
fired.
bucks.
Instead of dropping it down a drain, our shooter hoists it up here. Interesting guy.
Interesting guy.
We should follow up on this now, before the perp tries to leave town.
Press that to open notebook. What is that? What do you think that is? Okay, tab. I don't know what he wanted me to do.
Wait, open your notebook? Clues? We found the Smith & Wesson. We got it.
Okay, so I don't have to write it. It's already in here. Each recovered clue is sketched and cataloged. Great. Great clue.
So you just had been seeing clips of this, and you just felt a need to re-examine.
Well, the other
You're
thing
like, I need
was
to go
So
look
we
at
could
this
get a
thing.
There was a
commendation.
Game Pass game that
Show
came
some
out
initiative,
today
Ralph.
called
Let's see if we can come up with an
Backbone,
owner.
which is a
That's the long
furry
shot, Cole.
art
It's a pretty fancy gun.
detective noir game.
You know a local gun store?
Sure.
And
There's
it
a
looked a
place
little
a
bit
couple
too
of blocks from
serious.
Wait, sorry, hang on. I was trying to listen to the characters.
Okay.
What's up?
There was a furry art detective noir game that came out today on Games Pass for
Not
PC
really our gig.
called Backbone.
What was it called?
No harm in
Backbone.
doing some digging.
Okay.
And for a second,
Such a little Boy Scout, Cole.
I was like,
Can't
maybe
wait to
that's
get
what
out
we
of
should
that
play.
uniform, can you?
And it seemed a little bit too
Rather
serious,
round up
maybe.
drunks and help old ladies across the road?
And so
I'd rather get through the day without the
I was just
captain's foot
looking
up
through my
ass.
list of games, and I saw LA Noire, and I was like, oh, that's also a detective game, and it might be funny because it's kind of weird and goofy, and it is sort of a relic of like a way that they tried to make video games different that like didn't really take.
I mean,
Like they didn't really do the thing that LA Noire did. Like it did situationally work in this game. It sometimes really, really didn't work, but sometimes it worked. But instead of like adopting it as a way that we do games or faces in games, it just sort of is this really singular sort of thing.
Right. Well, I mean, it did sound like, as you said, kind of way too much work. Like, they basically did this by, like, pointing 10 cameras at every actor's face and then having that, and then, like, sticking little dots to their face and then, recording their face as they read every line and then digitizing that into animation frames. Like, this game took years and years and years. And I think, like, there were... Stories came out pretty soon after this game was released about the poor working conditions. I think they were subjected to like tons of crunch.
Yeah.
Supposedly the director of the game was like kind of like a tyrannical boss or something.
Yeah.
And like had like some kind of major ego trip happening to the extent that even Rockstar was like, we're not working with this guy again.
And Rockstar not particularly known for not having terrible working conditions.
Right, exactly. Like I think I don't think that they cared about the working conditions. I think they literally just couldn't stand whatever that guy's deal was. Like, they just didn't want to deal with him or something.
Yeah.
But I believe this took many years to make. I can look it up. But you know, I honestly think, besides the fact that you play this whole fucking game as a cop, like I think a game like this could come out tomorrow and be a hit. Like, you know, like a talking to people, like a high fidelity talking to people game, flipping through your notebook kind of game. Hell yeah.
I mean, honestly, the closest thing I can think of to a game like this is Disco Elysium, a game that is both way different in how it's presented and also way better in pretty much every way.
Sure, but this is, you know, this is its own cinematic kind of presentation.
Yeah, and Rockstar is sort of obsessed with that to its detriment.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I think to its detriment. I don't know if I can quite co-sign that. Like, not that I think Rockstar's games are perfect or anything, but I'm not sure I'd like them more if they did less cinematic storytelling. Like, you know, like we've thoroughly covered the fact that games don't need to chase movies to be legitimate, but like every once in a while, a game that feels like a movie can be really fun.
Yeah, well, I think part of the thing about not liking Rockstar games is more just because they're less cinematic. I think, like, it's hard to know, because if Rockstar games weren't obsessed with being cinematic, they wouldn't be Rockstar games.
Right.
Like, they would be different people.
Yeah.
Did I leave this?
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy.
Crime scene contaminated.
The development of LA Noire began in 2004.
Wow.
Following the founding of its developer, Team Bondi. Rockstar Games published LA Noire on 17th of May, 2011 for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360.
Holy mackerel.
And November 8th for Windows. So I thought this was a years later port, but I guess this was just a months later port.
It would take a smarter man than me.
I could have sworn this was a years later port. Really? Oh, okay. A re-release for Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One was released on 2017. Okay. Maybe that's the re-release I'm thinking of.
Yeah, that must be it.
Are we still not?
I wonder why I've been seeing it recently. Is it because it's been 10 years? Is that the thing? So I think I misunderstood what it wanted from me, and then I was like, maybe I should go back to the crime scene. And I drove my car into the crime scene and failed because I contaminated the crime scene, which is a very Rockstar thing, I think.
Ladies across the road.
I'd rather get through the day without the captain's foot up my ass.
It'll be fine.
Hey
Ralph.
Keith, I know you don't always like when I bring this up, but I will just say, I'm seeing your activate Windows watermark, and I actually just had my Windows watermark reappear yesterday after updating my Windows PC, and I was like, oh no, this is the shit Keith was talking about. This thing's gonna be dogging me forever now. But actually, I literally just I still had my like crack like activator or whatever downloaded, and I just ran it again and it worked again. You sure you don't want it?
Shooter, put him up against the wall.
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay.
Hell of a way to go.
Doesn't really matter how you go once you're gone.
Don't get all deep on me, Phelps.
I was gonna say, I remember the sequence being pretty quick. Like, you know.
Well, it's hard to hear what they're saying, and there's no way to put on subtitles.
Yep.
I thought this was going to be a video about like maybe seeing some goofy faces and just seeing like a style of making a game that is like kind of singular.
Let me pull up a guide.
And instead, it's just been like, wow, look how bad this fucking
The gun
port
store's
is.
up on Central Avenue, Cole. Are we going?
Going to Central Avenue. Gun store. Oh, we're going to the gun store. It didn't. I don't think it had that in the thing. Okay. So I know where we're going now.
Okay. That's good.
No subtitles. Do you want? Heck, here's something you can Google for me. Is there a way to put on subtitles that I'm missing?
I will do that. LA Noire PC subtitles.
Driving this car, it's really funny to me that that Rockstar finally made a game where you weren't driving cars in it. But they basically were like, you can drive a horse now.
Yeah, it was Grand Theft Horse.
Grand Theft Horse.
But do you know the Spanish word for horse?
No.
Me neither. Good talk.
You're a reckless bad person.
I crashed in that car, and she said, "You're a reckless bad person." That's fair. ZE in the YouTube chat said, "Furry art detective noir is a wild sentence." Yeah, I mean it looks pretty good. Like the art genuinely is really good.
This is like the third overly serious furry
Officers
game
Phelps
that's
and Dunn.
been released.
Can you tell us anything about this gun?
Smith & Wesson, Model 27, registered Magnum.
It's a good shot.
Chambered for
Good thing.
.357, nickel-plated with pearl grips. Same gun used by General Patton.
You're not suggesting he's the owner?
No, I'm not.
You seem to know a lot about the weapon.
I ought to. I sold it. You know this piece will stop a rhino.
No, it won't.
These babies are only available special order. Here's my Smith & Wesson order book.
You mind if I take a look?
I keep it right here.
Guessed. This is about
A
something
fucking
bad, right?
pistol that will stop a rhino. Fuck you.
I love this. I've got to open it. Where do I press to open?
Anywhere.
Model 27 with pearl grips, Cole. You see it on there?
This
Way
is
down.
cool, though. Don't tell me this isn't cool. Looking through a handwritten ledger. Fuck you.
So, what actually works really well is using the mouse for this. I believe that I played this with the controller the first time, and the mouse hits so much better.
Heath, look at the veins on that
Good luck,
hand.
Daryl Schroeder.
Shenmue, eat your fucking
203
heart
South
out.
Glass Street. Ordered the gun in February 46. Thanks, you've been a big help.
Anytime. Always happy to help out the LAPD.
Yeah, sure,
So
buddy.
I think the thing I'm seeing with the faces is I feel like most of the uncanniness comes from the fact
Do we
that
call it in?
Let's see if he's
the
at home.
faces were all
Owning the gun
captured
doesn't prove he pulled
with
the
the
trigger.
heads of the
Okay.
person still
In for a
and
penny, in for a
unmoving, and then it was
pound.
mapped
Either way,
onto
Gunga
an
did.
animating 3D character, and I think that can lead to some weird mishmashes and
Yeah.
whatever, where it kind of looks disconnected. But I think the faces themselves, like they really do, they're like more expressive than like a lot of games,
Yeah.
even on next gen consoles. I think.
Yeah, the thing about it though is that like
Goddamn hard about that.
maybe when we get into like an interrogation, we'll see like the part where it is most important that the faces
And that
be
wasn't
good.
so hard, was it? Just because we're in uniform
There is when they're
doesn't
the
mean we
worst.
can't use our initiative.
I guess so. Seems
Uh,
a little too good to be true.
In my memory, but also
Murder
in
weapon
clips that I've
locally
seen
using a real name.
of the
If
game.
Schroeder's our shooter,
Well, I
he's no
hope you're
criminal
prepared
mastermind.
for me to totally disagree with you.
Okay.
2 out of every
Fair.
3
Look
crimes are
out!
done
You
on
can't
fair.
control
Back
me.
from the Phelps
I'm a loose
encyclopedia of
cannon.
Thin air. You really are full of it.
This is how
Couldn't-
cops
you couldn't-
drive. Get used to
Yeah,
it.
you couldn't drive on the right side of the road.
No, there was
the
all those
literal
cars in
right
my way
side of
over
the
there.
road. God,
It's a
you're
Rockstar
fucking
game.
20,
You're
you're
gonna-
fucking 20 minutes into the cop life. It's already gone to your head.
It's a Rockstar game. You have to lean into the ludo narrative dissonance.
Okay, sure.
The fun thing about saying ludonarrative dissonance is that this game was relatively recent when that was something that you would say seriously.
True, yeah. More like ludo narrative pissantness, right? Blah.
Gold-handled doors allow you to enter. That's an interesting bit of lore.
Huh.
It is not a game. It's not a fact of the game design, it's lore. What was the number?
You can only enter buildings with gold handles for lore reasons.
It doesn't say which one is his.
This is Barry Bonds, and he's gone back in time to prove that he could still be the greatest detective while never opening a
What do you guys
non-gold
want?
door
I'm
handle.
Officer Cole Phelps. This is Officer Dunn, Wilshire Division. You're the owner of a
reference
Smith
for
& Wesson
nobody.
Model 27, nickel-plated with pearl grips.
I might be. What of it?
Then you'll be surprised to know that Scooter Payton was murdered tonight with your gun.
You're out of your mind. Scooter? He works for me. I have that gun here in my drawer. What the fuck is going on here?
You're under arrest, Schroeder. Cuff him, Ralph.
No way. You're not taking me down for this.
Yeah. Get
Great.
me. Get me.
Finally, yeah.
Very bad.
This is what I fucking wanted. Fucking beat me up. Yes.
Quit prancing around and hit me.
Damn.
Ralph.
That was okay.
All right?
I'm fine. I hardly felt it. He's
The
lucky he caught me
fight
off
or the
guard.
cutscenes?
The fight.
Keep an eye on him, Ralph. I'm gonna take a look around.
Pick up your hat. Thank
Okay.
you.
It'll hold shift to walk. So that
Ooh,
I
this
divide.
this part of the room is red. It's got to be important. You know how games be doing?
Oh, I think that's our car outside, maybe.
Yeah, but you know how games be. though.
What is making it red? I don't
I think
see.
honestly I think it's supposed to be that bar light, even though it's actually not particularly glowing red. And they're blinking at different.
Yeah,
Right?
right? I don't know.
man.
Dirty stuff.
Oh, what's
Sure,
this?
this means much.
A coffee cup?
A coffee cup. What's the serial
Near,
number?
near this. it says Kaiser Soze on the bottom.
Incidental.
Incidental.
Not everything here is going to be relevant.
Oh, thanks for the tip. It's signed in the back. That's relevant to collectors. Apple. Why would somebody put an apple?
Maybe.
Why would someone just leave an apple here? Now, Keith, is it gonna be too much to ask for a little bump in game volume?
No, that won't be too much.
Ooh, could I have some? Huh.
Or just dialogue.
Yeah, that's good.
Here, tell me how it is.
Any chance there was a subtitles option on the launcher?
There was nothing on the launcher the second time that I looked for it.
Okay.
Did it say that that's where you do it?
No, I would when I searched like LA Noire subtitles, the only thing that came up was like language settings is in the launcher, but I think that's like language, not subtitles.
List of names and a series of numbers.
Oh, the
Floyd
phone
Rose's
numbers are
name is
all
in this
really
book.
short.
Phelps, we can
They're
come
like
out of
two
this all
numbers too
bright and
short.
shiny with a commendation, or stick our schlongs in a hornet's nest. Call it in, partner, and leave the book where you found it.
I think these faces fucking rock, dude. I'm gonna be honest.
Officer Phelps, badge 1247, requesting.
And now that's so loud. I didn't even change the music volume.
Oh, not to me.
Here, I can bump you a little bit.
Okay.
How's that?
Good. Just a couple 1940s guys getting off a train, getting on a bus, like how we do's.
You dumb fucking sons of bitches, get in this line now before I lose my temper.
Excuse me, Sergeant, but...
Excuse me? Fuck you. You say another word and I'll break your fucking head and have you in the brig.
Some of us are here for...
I know why you're here, asswipe. I'm having a bad day, Private. Some people don't seem to want to get on this bus.
I didn't ask for your help.
He didn't ask for your help. Can you believe this guy? Who are you two? Abbott and Costello?
We're here for OCS, Sergeant.
So it's the three fucking stooges and you're here for OCS.
We got them
help
both.
This fucking country and the USMC. The Japanese will do the world a favor and kill you quickly. All three of you are on report. What are your fucking names?
Phelps.
I fucking love this guy.
Yeah.
Any other gentlemen for OCS?
Behaving like this is normal.
OCS is at Elliott. You take the Camp Elliott bus over there. This bus is for MCRD. This bus is for men who want to fight.
Oh, our boy didn't want to fight.
Well, you picked the right place, Cole. A city that needed an honest cop like a thirsty man needed water. You'd heard the stories, but you weren't interested. You were here to fight the good fight, solve cases, right wrongs. But the force is like politics. There's no sitting on the fence. You have to choose sides. A brown paper envelope, or a Greyhound ticket to Palookaville. It could only ever end one way.
All units to 211 in progress.
Where is Palookaville?
Westlake Savings and Loan, 1415 West 3rd Street. Unit to handle identifying code 3.
We'll take that. It's only a couple blocks from here.
14 Adam calling KGPL. We'll handle the 211.
Roger that, 14 Adam. Be advised, suspects are armed and dangerous.
Roger, KGPL. 14 Adam en route.
I'm doing it. I'm going to solve it.
Yeah, listen to that siren. All the cars are getting away from you in the oncoming lane. I guess they know that this isn't real life either, and you could swerve towards them at any moment.
And I will.
And you will.
This car's not real. I didn't pay anything for it. And neither did the city of Los Angeles.
Make it quick, you guys. The cops are here. We gotta move it.
Damn, I'm about to kill someone. I did.
Oh, sick.
Try for the front door. Keep your goddamn head down. Use the cover, Phelps.
I've officially killed on duty.
Yes, finally.
Backup will be here soon.
Made the badge mean something.
LAPD, put down your weapons. The bank is surrounded. I'm offering you a chance. Chance, copper. You got me closer.
These poor guys, they think they're in an even gunfight with you, but they don't realize you're a video game protagonist.
Yeah. Oh no, he's got a Tommy gun.
A Tommy gun?
That's it? We got them all?
That's it?
I think we got them, Cole.
Just 5 lives?
Should be all clear.
All I had to do was murder 6 people? It was so easy.
It says anytime you reach for the shotgun, you're either going to end up dead or wearing a citation. So I guess...
It's okay, Ralph. You did well in there. I'm glad you had my
I
back.
killed 6 people, you didn't do
I
jack
couldn't ask for a
shit,
better
but...
partner.
They always tell you not to go in guns blazing because it might end bad, but boy, you sure did do it anyway.
This kind of opportunity comes along once in a lifetime, Hank. I have to grasp it.
You have to survive at first, Cole. Here are the veterans. The Japs love to shoot officers.
If I can make a name for myself in this war, my future...
Thinking of taking on a company of the Emperor's finest single-handed? You don't seem the Sergeant York type to me.
When I need your opinion, Kelso, I'll ask for it.
They talk about officers like you in boot camp, Cole. They call it the Custer syndrome. Guys who go around dreaming of fame and glory and getting all of their men killed in the process.
Our duty is to lead, Kelso.
And their duty is to die for your wonderful future?
Fuck yeah, Kelso.
Hell yeah.
Cole Phelps and Jack Kelso. With some people, it's as simple as chemistry. Two guys who should have been friends.
Instead, they were
Personalities got in
lovers.
the way. Phelps, a good guy, wound way too tight. And Kelso, a quiet man who could never walk away from a fight.
They had to loosen up.
Well, it's a shame you don't like to talk about it, Cole.
Ralph, friends who want to stay friends don't discuss religion or politics. In my case, you can add the war to that.
I know that bum. Wendell Bowers. I put him away before. He jumped parole. Get after him, Phelps. I'll head him off in the car.
No, let him go. Who cares?
Wendell Bowers! Stop! LAPD! You can go screw yourself.
You're just letting him go.
Oh no, I'm getting him. I'll get him. Is it this guy? Oh.
Or you're just here to be the worst cop possible. You're here to dismantle the LAPD from the inside.
I've decided that this was not a legitimate crime, and I will not pursue.
Hold it right there!
But you are.
Now or I will shoot. I won't tell you again, Wendell.
It's not my fault that guy's really slow. He's shooting at him.
Uh-oh. He's a wanted criminal, Keith.
Hey, man, that's not cool.
Get down from there right now!
Did you want to put a second hand on that gun, or do you think you got it?
Where's the ladder?
Right there. You gotta jump up on it!
Jesus, Dunn! Watch your fire!
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
Oh,
I think they're going to make me succeed.
It doesn't let you fail through the game.
It doesn't. Sorry, Wendell. You're coming with me, I guess.
Powers! Hold it right there!
My memory of my reaction to this game was like I was in love with. It was a 2-disc game, and my memory was I was in love with disc 1, and then like disc 2 just like took a dive.
So the thing about the game is that you watch Phelps through his career as a detective, and part of that career is getting demoted for political reasons, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
You got me. And sort of. I mean, it's sort of in line with what you might expect, but getting demoted for political reasons means that the next part of your job is like kind of boring.
Sure.
I think he gets demoted from murder to arson, and the arson section of the game is kind of boring. But also Phelps himself is dissatisfied with it, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, there's like a sort of the third quarter of the game. Like a lot of games, the third quarter is not very fun. Nice hit.
Looks like
wow.
we got the place to ourselves.
It was, I think you go from murder to vice, and then you get demoted from vice to arson.
Yeah.
You doing, Wendell?
I thought it was the opposite. I thought you go from vice to murder.
He's got a hole in his life.
Vice
for an
above
asshole like you.
murder?
You can make it up to him in 10
Well, I
years'
think
time.
like
Watch your head.
I don't.
This hump will be back in the Irons Hotel by tomorrow night.
There you go.
Nice work, Cole. You run track in high school?
Well, was it maybe like a, maybe a promotion given to him to get him to stop snooping into the murders or something?
Is the ability to make tough decisions.
It's possible.
The right
decision
decision
I think it's a promotion on paper, but he doesn't
the right
appreciate
decision
it.
will
Like, it doesn't
get
make
the men
him
you
happy.
care about killed. These ratings and your ability to give them frankly and truthfully directly affect your chances of successfully becoming a Marine officer. Candidate Phelps, you have the floor. Esprit de Corps, Merrill, 10. Franklin, 8. Weiss, 8. Donahoe, 6. Kowalski, 6. Hudson, 5. Kelso, 2. Leadership, Donahoe,
Wow.
8. Franklin, 7. Merrill, 6. Kowalski, 6. Weiss, 5. Hudson, 5. Kelso, 1. Candidate Kelso!
I'm sorry,
Look at
Captain,
his
but I joined
shitty
the Marine
little
Corps to fight
grin.
the enemy, not get involved in the schoolboy chicken shit.
Kelso, in my office, now!
What's that?
I said, look at his shitty little grin, like as Kelso.
Oh, I thought you said look at his shitty little chin, talking about the weirdly shaped little chin on the sergeant or the instructor. Because he did have a weirdly shaped little chin.
As the shining new star in the squad. The case that you solved that shows that you have the gumption, the gung-ho, that get up and go to make you stand out from your average rank-and-file patrolman. This could be the one, Cole.
Kelso's the protagonist of the game.
Yep.
LAPD, could you stand clear of the body, please? Has anyone
No,
called an
we
ambulance?
can't.
We've called an ambulance and the police, but I'm afraid he's dead.
They called the ambulance and the police in 1 second.
It's your choice, but make it quick, people.
Well, I don't think it was.
Cole.
You got
here
dead
quick.
here?
My beat crosses 7th Street.
Well, we heard the shots turn the corner. The guy was
Get a
dead.
perimeter going and move the crowd on. You better see what you can find out before the homicide dicks show up. I'll be with you in a moment.
All these cops?
I love homicide dicks.
Everybody stay
Yeah.
back. Let us do our job.
I came to this game for the homicide dicks.
Sir, I'm Officer Phelps. What exactly did you see?
I heard the shots. I thought it was a car backfiring. I saw a girl run at the shoe store.
You want to take a look around now? The witness can wait, Cole. We've got the perimeter.
That's a nice touch, thinking
should
it was a
make sure we
ar
check the whole crime
backfiring.
scene before
It's an
questioning
easy
the
thing to
witness.
not think of
Officer
from a
Phelps,
modern context because cars
Yeah.
don't backfire anymore.
Did you know the victim?
It's a trope, though.
It is, it is.
It was my boss,
Why are you crying,
Mr.
then?
Gage.
Mr. Gage's first name.
Everett.
And you are?
Galleta. Clovis Galleta.
Incredibly fast, detailed sketch.
Yeah, really fast, really detailed.
Could be one of those people who works for prestigious journals and newspapers and has to make whatever.
Questions are listed on the right. Okay, so this is something that I've had a hard time with. So his hand...
Eyewitness account.
You think you could tell me?
No, but I
exactly
couldn't
what
get my
happened?
thing onto the
I look around the
page
shops
for a
at
while.
lunch.
Oh.
I was in a store when Mr. Gage, my boss, bursts in yelling that I'm late on my lunch.
And?
We came back. I was angry. I walked in front. I heard shots. I turned and saw Mr. Gage fall.
Oh, I wonder if she's lying. Press 3.
Doubt.
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 I'm having a hard time believing that, young lady. You want to be taken to a police cell?
You're hardly any older than me. Don't you dare talk to me that way.
A man is dead, Miss Galletta, and it's a criminal offense to lie to a police officer. I ought to take you downtown.
Get out. Get out right now. Send in one of the other policemen if you must, but I won't say another word to you.
Wait, so I was supposed to accuse her of lying instead of just doubting her?
I mean,
Broad
that
daylight.
I just
Crowded
saw
street.
what happened as being the
seen
consequence of doubting her. What
Right.
did you want to happen?
So, what's up?
Made out to Bank of Arcadia.
I'm back.
Where did you go?
The internet hiccup.
Oh, okay.
But what were your two other options besides doubt?
Truth and lie.
Okay.
So I think it wanted me to accuse her of lying instead of just implying she was lying.
My interpretation of that is you tell a lie to her to try to get her to spill it.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Okay. You think the lie was like a more
forceful
just
doubt.
A stronger version of doubt?
I think so. I think that's it. No. It's really sensitive.
It's probably the holes in him is what did it.
Is there anything else? I can go to his belt. How about your belt?
Oh, I want you to go to his belt.
I think that's it.
I'm here for murder dicks.
She won't talk to me anymore.
That was a good callback.
Doesn't look like anything.
I deserve more.
Yeah, it's not that it doesn't look like anything. It looks like shoes, buddy. Murder dicks. Oh, yeah, sure. That's fun.
It was a different kind of murder dick. Just that guy from Westworld holding up a shoe. It doesn't look like anything to me.
Seems irrelevant.
This book, I can tell without knowing what it is, but it seems irrelevant.
The cash register and its contents. This is all very relevant.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to take
this.
this.
We actually have to take this.
What did you want me to do?
Some of us have work to
Me?
do, buddy.
No, the cops sometimes tell you what they want from you.
I'm stumped. Ideas?
Looks like there's something in this trash can.
Oh.
Shell casings. These look like 30.
Got him. Looks like there's something in this trash can.
Oh, what did they come out of? Because we've already established that, you know, they...
Oh, they came out of a gun. They weren't just thrown.
Well, I was expecting all the pistols to be revolvers, and I was like, we already established it doesn't eject the casings. But I should have held my
We
tongue.
have the murder weapon?
But no murderer. The girl saw it all, but she clammed up on me. We could trace the gun.
Eagleson's gun store's a couple blocks from here.
You thinking what
Don't take that tone with me.
Hey, maintain the perimeter.
Yeah, this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah.
He's not even, like...
All these cops?
He's not even good at his job.
No. Yeah, he wanted us to not stop investigating that last thing.
That was a tax-paying citizen you just bounced off the fucking hood, Phelps.
Sorry. I don't know what happens. I'm a normal guy until I get behind this car and just something comes over me.
Store assistant, not a prisoner of war.
Is that supposed to be funny?
I'm just saying that sometimes you need to pour some sugar on these broads.
God damn it, Cole.
Sorry, bus. Sorry you didn't get out of my way faster.
Dude.
Since when are you the expert? We got the murder
I have to say, I did find myself naturally like driving more sanely in this game.
No wonder you're suddenly so obsessed with it.
Yeah, when I played this game, I did actually drive. Like, when I played it for real, I did actually drive pretty normally. We don't have time to do that on a stream.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
It's also harder on the keyboard because you only have a go and a not go.
No, you did not.
You know what I mean?
Oh, sure, yeah.
You don't have a
another
trigger
reason not to play games on mouse and keyboard. That's a good point.
I mean, it's just sort of a situational thing. But I mean, I would rather lose the stop and go.
I think it ruins the integrity underpinning the entire operation of LD Noire.
We need you to trace a serial number.
Sure.
I would rather lose
FN Browning,
the triggers and gain the really nice finger moving of the mouse.
Well, I didn't sell it. Europeans love them, but it's pretty rare you find one over here. Although I did have one in here a couple of weeks back.
Remember the owner?
Yeah. Kalu. Edgar Kalu was his name. Thing looked like he'd never been fired, but he brought it in here for cleaning anyway. Then he bought a box of cartridges and he left.
You know where we can find Mr. Kalu?
Told me he was on his lunch break. Said he worked at Hartfield's jewelry store just up on Broadway.
Thanks for your help.
That guy's the best actor so far. No one else has acted better than that.
I think there's been acting on par with that.
Nope, that was the best. Watch out, Officer Phelps is on the road.
Straight. Keep it straight.
Okay, that one wasn't even my fault.
Hard about that.
Doubt.
I'm pretty sure I had a green light. Pretty sure. God damn it.
Look out!
Did you have a green light that time?
Yes. I had the right of way.
because you're a cop.
Yeah.
Officer,
You know what?
can I interest you in a new watch?
Officer Cole Phelps. Are you Edgar
He's so
Kalu?
fucking mad all the time.
No.
He's so
Mr.
he's
Kalu
so
is out back.
intense.
He said he'd lie down. I'll buzz him for you.
This he's running.
He's running.
Son
Yeah.
of a
Yep.
bitch. Go, Cole, go!
They're good.
Hurry, officer! He's getting away!
Do you hear that guy?
Get him, officer. He's getting away.
Yeah, he sounded like Fred Stoller.
Hello!
Get him, officer!
When the hell's the food gonna arrive already?
Oh, don't shoot him. I thought it was what I'm supposed to do. I'm a cop.
Keith!
Officer
The
Cole
cops
Phelps.
hate when you
Are you
shoot
Edgar
people who are
Kalu?
running away from you.
This guy
No,
just shot at the
Mr.
last
Kalu
guy
is
who
out
just
back.
all he did was
He said
skip
he'd lie down.
parole.
I'll
Keith
buzz him for you.
extremely dishonorable.
Son of a bitch! Go, Cole, go!
Hurry, officer! He's getting away!
That's his coworker.
Hello! Get back
That's
here!
so funny.
That's his employee, so I think we can understand
Oh,
why,
yeah,
he,
probably employee.
why he might have a vested interest in this one. No!
No, it's supposed to.
Stop or I will shoot!
Wait, how'd you know?
It said in the top corner, it said hold right trigger to aim, and then there was a little timer. So it wanted me to
under
just like
arrest for the
have the
murder
gun
of
on him
Everett
for long
Gage.
enough to threaten
Right
him.
trigger to aim? Oh, right mouse.
Right,
to aim.
right mouse button.
The case that makes you, and the case that breaks you. The one you never solve. The one that keeps you awake at night.
The case that got away.
The case that gnaws at your guts and ruins your marriage. The case that keeps you
chewing
popping
on
up
your
a wall as you
intestine.
relive the what-ifs.
The case you
the
think
minor
about when you
events,
pee.
Yeah,
the
When you have one of those
half
really
truths.
long pees because you drink a lot of water.
chewing
up
up
your
your
shit
shit
and
and
it's
it's
spitting
spitting
it
it
in
in
your
your
mouth.
mouth.
The tree.
The case you
case.
never, ever discuss.
God's mill may grind slowly, but it grinds finely, son. I hear it's you who nabbed our malefactor from the shooting yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Found my new favorite
Then tell me,
character.
Boyle. I
Oh,
hear
you
you're
don't remember
quite
this
a
guy?
climber, a man of initiative.
No. I do now,
How
but
would you like a chance at smiting this man with the sword of justice?
You're asking me to conduct the interview, sir?
I am, young Phelps. You've only been with us a short time and you've assembled yourself a stellar arrest record. Not to mention the fine work you did in the war, sending heathens back to the hell they came from.
yikes.
Yeah, this
I'm
guy's a
curious
psycho.
as to whether you can turn your hand to interrogation. Takes a certain animal cunning, lad. Do you think you might be ready for that?
Yes, sir. I think I am.
Good man. You need
I
many
swallowed
things for a
wrong.
conviction, young Phelps.
Sorry.
A motive, opportunity, hard
Rip.
evidence, and best of all, a confession. If you fail in the former, you can always use a modicum of violence to obtain the latter. How are you feeling, lad?
Fine, sir.
Very good. The evidence is over.
If you don't get a motive,
May the
don't
cat
worry.
eat
You
him
can
and
just
the cat
beat the
be eaten by the
confession out of these guys.
Bring me a confession, young Phelps. This is your chance. Don't fail me.
What a fun guy
Has my
to
lawyer
be,
arrived yet? I
though.
want to see my lawyer.
A lawyer can't help you, Mr. Kalu.
Like, he's just playing games
Shot a
with his
man dead in
employees.
cold
Like,
blood.
yeah,
You're going
give
to
me
have
a
to face
show.
that.
If you don't get it, whatever. He's just a punk ass. Kill him. I don't know.
Let's talk about the shooting. Do you deny shooting Everett Gage?
I'm a businessman. I run a jewelry store. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sure my lawyer can clear all this up.
I love
just
that
a
moment
jewel-
after the line is delivered that they go into
Where
their.
he just start looking.
Yeah,
looking
you can
incredibly...
Use into... See, I don't know what the difference is between doubt and lie.
Well, I think lie is you lie to them. I mean, I guess you have to.
Well, let's use intuition.
No, let's lie. Let's lie.
Okay. You don't want to ask the community? Oh, I hit it literally by accident. Yeah. So it's either truth or lie. So let's lie.
You deny owning a Browning pistol, serial number 01138.
I owned a gun, yes, but it was stolen in a burglary a couple years ago. You can't prove I used my gun on Gage. Gage was an asshole.
What?
But his death wasn't down to me.
You asked the
I'm just gonna
wrong
keep
question.
my mouth shut and watch you run around in circles.
I think you were supposed to follow up with the piece of evidence that would contradict what he just said, which I think was that he got his weapons service.
Get back in there and raise some lunch, boy! I need a confession!
This guy's a serial killer, by the way.
Yeah.
The Irish cop.
He's a police chief, so
I can't
yeah.
help you, Mr. Kalu. You shot a man dead in cold blood. You're going to have to pay for that.
Okay,
Let's talk about the shooting.
I just get to try again.
Do you deny shooting Everett Gage?
I'm a businessman. I run a jewelry store. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just a
sure my lawyer
jewelry
can clear
store
all this up.
manager that ran from you the moment you had a question for me. What's suspicious about me?
I'm just a normal cop-hating jewelry store
You
owner.
deny owning a Browning pistol, serial number 01138.
I owned a gun, yes, but it was stolen in a burglary a couple years ago. You can't prove I used my gun on Gage.
Oh, so they want me to talk about
a couple years ago.
Right. So they want me to talk about the murder weapons service.
Yeah.
You had the gun cleaned and bought a new box of ammunition. The store owner remembers you and where you worked.
Is that so? It's amazing what the nebbishes will recall when it suits them.
Jeez.
Let's change the subject. You fasting for Yom Kippur, Mr. Kalu?
Yeah, let's change the subject, you going motherfucker. How about baseball?
You're not denying you're a Jew, Mr. Kalu.
This is America. It's not Germany. It's not a crime.
Some people don't like Jews, Mr. Kalu.
Yeah, and I guess you're one of them.
Gage hated Jews, didn't he, Mr. Kalu?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Again.
What's show me the notebook.
Okay, view notebook.
All right. So, what did he just say?
He said that the guy that he killed, we accused the guy that he killed of hating Jewish people, and he said, "I don't know if that's true," or something like that.
So, I mean, do we say possible religious motive? I mean,
we don't have. So we're not. No, we're not doing that right now. We're saying truth, doubt, or lie. Which again, I don't understand the difference between doubt and lie.
Well, I think lie is like I can prove you're lying because I have a piece of evidence, and doubt is like I don't have evidence, but I think you're lying.
Okay.
That's my read on it.
Let's try doubt then.
You
okay, it was that.
Left-wing leaning parasite. You expect me to sit here and listen to your drivel?
You call me that? You sit there and you call me those names, you goddamn goy butt snatcher? You and that shtup Gage!
Why did you do it, Mr. Kalu?
Gage. He's in the Chamber of Commerce. He's in with all those momsers. He blocked every proposal I ever put forward. Kike this and kike that. He's been trying to ruin my business for years.
Edgar Kalu, I'm charging you with the first-degree murder of Everett Gage. I respect your beliefs and your right to hold them. I hope for your sake the jury can commute to murder in the second degree. May God have mercy on you, sir.
Wow.
I genuinely do not remember that.
Fair. Honest justice.
Yeah.
Masterfully done.
Look, you were right to kill that guy, but nothing I can do.
Just isn't it, lad?
Yes, sir.
Then let me have a word with the chief of police, young folks. The department needs heroes. A shining, honest face the public can admire. I applaud a man with your talent for unwavering justice.
This
Back to your
Irish
duties
guy
for now,
get
boy.
promoted to the head of
But
the
here's a piece of
police?
advice. Get yourself 2 suits, get them pressed.
Is this not a time when people would not be liking them? Maybe that's a little late.
No, this is around the time when they were filling police roles with Irish men.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fast.
Well, Kylie, we were promoted. Is that enough for us to quit, or do you want to do a little more?
No, it's not.
All right.
We finally got.
We made it
to the game. We finally got to the game now. Well, I don't know. It's up to you, actually. I guess we did see a good chunk of it. We did an interview, and we convicted a man.
Thank God.
Thank God, yeah. May the Lord have mercy on his Jew soul.
Here's your new desk, kid.
what
You're
a
on
bizarre-
traffic. The hot sheet is posted here, next to the map.
What's his problem?
That's Biggs. He's an institution.
So this is what all the fuss is about. Why couldn't they build a freeway that goes past my place?
They haven't even approved the money yet, kid. The bond issue won't be till December. It'll be years before any of this will happen. Here's your new partner, Stefan Burkowski.
I've heard all about you, Phelps. You go easy on me and let me earn the odd citation, and maybe we'll get along fine.
I'm here to learn, Detective.
He's an intense
Oh, this
one,
is
isn't he,
Vice,
Mel?
right?
What's that?
Intense. The newly minted detective here, Cole Phelps.
This is
Hi,
Vice.
Phelps.
I'll be keeping an eye on you.
Yeah.
I could spend a little
Okay.
time basking in reflected glory.
I was pretty
Make a
sure Vice
change
came
from
before
busting hookers
murder.
and dope fiends.
Who was that, Commander?
Roy Earl, Chief
Well,
Detective
I remember
and
that
Vice.
first
All
comes
dressed like
love
movie
and
stars.
then comes marriage, but
Roy
I can
is
never
a movie
remember the order of murder and
The whole
Vice.
of the seedy side of
Well,
LA
I
is
guess
his
think of
audience.
which is a worse crime:
What is that supposed
Well,
to mean?
doing
I just had it-
drugs or
Stick with
killing
me,
people.
kid. You'll find out.
Well, I know that, but I just had it in my head that was how the story
Now some
went, even
housekeeping.
though it seemed
Warm
somewhat
Central Division,
counterintuitive.
welcome for Detective Cole Phelps. Some of you guys may know
Eh,
Phelps. He's the
we
cop who
fucking
broke the
love
jewelry
ya.
store murder. Stand up and take a bow, Phelps.
If it's all right with you,
That's
sir.
an order, Phelps.
Shh, quiet, everybody.
Phelps is one of only 2 serving LAPD officers who received the Silver Star during the war. Really gave it those lousy
I mean-
Japanese, eh, Phelps?
I did my best.
You know, at least there's shit
you
going
war
on in this
heroes
game.
always
There's a
so
lot of
modest.
shit going on in this game.
Now, pardon
You know, it's
Phelps
not
with
just
everybody's
like-
favorite Pole.
I mean,
Stefan
as much as I give it
Hope you
shit
like
about
work,
being
kid.
a shitty cop
Bukowski
game,
sure as hell
because it
does it.
is.
That's why we are
Like,
partners,
it at
right?
least
Okay,
knows that
okay, can
to
it,
some
guys?
extent.
Stick with Bukowski. He's a good cop. He knows traffic inside and out.
Well,
I'm going to start you out with one case. Do okay? I'll give you a couple more. You screw up, you'll be rousting vagrants and running license plates. Now get down to the PE Freight Depot, 6th and Alameda. A patrolman called in a suspicious vehicle. Signs of foul play. See what you can find out. Come on, Phelps.
I just find like if I don't know if it's I don't know if it's mostly the facial animation that's like lifting it or if it's just a combination of like all the acting and directing, but I just think it's like really compelling to watch these cutscenes, honestly. Like they just like they go down smooth, honestly.
You're not wrong, I gotta say.
What do you want me to say?
Look at that! Look at him go down the stairs! Look at this!
Oh my god!
It's a Shenmue! We found a Shenmue!
Oh!
We have found the heir to Shenmue. Let's see. Hold on.
But oh no! Oh no! Oh!
Ooh, okay, it's okay, but it's not quite
oh,
there.
get it off my screen, Keith! I
Ugh,
can't
it
look
made me
at it.
sick. This is giving me life.
Oh,
this
my
gives me
goodness.
life. This is making me want to puke.
I am living for this stairs animation.
So close to fortune and glory.
Listen, no game wants to admit that you actually that you move horizontally slower as you go downstairs. Like it takes a while to go downstairs even if you're rushing, but video game characters always just like take them 3 at a time.
Someone said loving this new Canyon audio experience we're getting from Kylie. What does that mean?
Uh-oh. Am I echoing for the stream?
You're not echoing on my end.
Not echoing on my end. But what if I go and listen to the stream right now?
You know this
I'm going
place?
to keep talking until I hit play on the stream.
Gas works and signal depot in a warehouse. I'll correct.
All units, a 459 just occurred in
So,
6th and 7th.
tell me a little about yourself, Phelps.
Code 2
Are we friends now, Bukowski? We have to work together. Don't be so
Yeah, I'm
touchy.
echoed.
I grew up in San Francisco.
How
Father
bad?
was in shipping.
Bad. I'm so glad everyone waited until right now. to
Yeah,
tell us.
hey, why the fuck didn't anybody say anything?
Honestly, what the hell?
Hold on. Say some more.
Hello. Hear me, people of Earth. Hello.
That's really weird. You literally don't sound like that to me.
I know.
And it's me. It's my audio that's getting pushed to you. Or sorry, it's my audio that's getting pushed to.
Do you accidentally have me like mixed in with
Oh.
your mic?
It just started
Oh, yeah.
happening, Andrew Blatt. said.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
Thanks.
everyone. It was normal
All right.
before. It just started happening. That's fine. Is it still
All right.
going?
Thank you, Andrew.
Or it just started happening. That's fine. Is it still going?
Thank you,
Or
Andrew.
it just started happening. That's fine.
Yep, this is just how I sound, and this is how I'm gonna sound forever now. Hope you like it. I finally changed my voice. I think that wraps up our look at LA Noire. Keith, did you have anything else you wanted to say before we get going?
Well, if you want to do this one first thing, I can see if maybe turning back on, the mix minus helps. That's the mix minus is the thing that I turn off that lets you hear the game without the computer's help. With the downside is that you hear your own voice in an echo. And so maybe that's doing it for some reason. All right, I turn mix minus back on, so you won't be able to hear the game, but let's hear you talking for a sec.
Okay. Well, I feel like we really got a good
let's
look
hear
at
you
this
talking
game.
for a
So
sec.
I'm not sure we actually need more.
I
feel like we really got a good look at this.
I
I know this is a 180 from my previous stance.
You just said 30 seconds ago. I mean, it's fixed. It is fixed. It's not getting anymore.
That's good.
Do you want to stop? We can stop.
Before Reno
I think
CS
yeah, I
at
think
Camp
we
Elliott.
I think we've gotten a good
Shipped
look
out in
at
early
it.
45 as a first
All right,
lieutenant.
let's,
Fought in the Okinawa.
I mean, unless you feel like you need more, and then I can.
No, I'm good.
A year on the beat. Now I'm here. So you won the Silver Star.
Careful. All right. Well, is there anything else that we have to say before we get out of here?
Next lander, stop ripping us off.
Yeah, next lander, cut it out. That's too loud. I'm starting it over. I don't know why it was that loud. It's not usually that loud. Let's see.
I could read one of the poems from Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats.
Okay.
Since I own it now.
Great.
Fine, I don't have to.
Oh, I said you could. I said do it.
No,
You're out of time now.
I don't know. I won't now.
Well, you should go to contentburger.biz, sign up for the Patreon, make sure to be watching youtube.com/runbutton. We're finishing Shenmue for the Patreon soon, so
we're doing it.
We're doing it. So
we're finishing MGS soon.
It's time to catch up. Oh, also that for free though. So it's the perfect time to catch up on Shenmue. It's because my goal is to be done in June. Bye.
Bye.